Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 890. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship. He's wearing his Kirby shirt because he's ready to absorb everything that he puts into his mouth. Jeff Grubb.
That's right. Is this episode 889 or 890? Or do we call the
technically
PAX
called the PAX one 889? So we'll go with 890.
I'm updating on YouTube.
Yeah,
I thought I did it already. Anyway,
Twitch is updated.
Twitch is updated. Speaking about updates, he's up in all of your dates. That's right. Whether it is the food variety or the time variety, Dan Riker.
I'm having a fancy date dinner tonight to celebrate 10 years.
Oh, congratulations!
Some fancy pasta stuff going on.
10 years of what?
Pretty good. 10 years of being with Bonk.
Oh, okay.
Favorite person in the world.
What
Cool.
did you think? Anyway,
Yeah, Mike, let's unpack that a little bit, bud. What was in your mind there, pal?
I was just wondering, just asking questions.
all right.
Cool. I'm glad we can hear the lozenge. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, great. Just swirl that around your mouth a
I
little
wish
bit
we could
more.
have a game sent for his like Luden's lozenge.
Speaking about lozenges and 10 years, we have the arbiter of the keeper of a 10-year-old child, Jeff Backler.
That's right. Keep him in my pocket. He fits there comfortably. Just feed him a Kit Kat every now and then, and he'll make it until he's 18.
Backler, are you at all worried that this weekend is like a weekend too formative of a weekend for Dib?
Yeah, we fucked him up real bad.
Yeah.
I just got to say, there's no charitable angle to approach the situation. He has become 11 times more confident than he was going into the weekend.
We made a mistake.
Buddy, what do you think school was like for him yesterday? Like, how do you think a kid walks into school and is just like, yeah, I had a normal ass weekend. How about you?
Do
You know,
the fellow kids know about this?
I mean, probably not, but
Okay.
I think he was floating into school in a way that he has not floated before, and I think it all just went right to his head. I mean, the kid signed a couple autographs. I don't know what to tell you.
God.
I did send people to him to ask for autographs.
And
multiple people.
again,
So it was a work. So
we appreciate the collusion.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say no to that. But yeah, you know, he is. I guess this is what he thinks real life is. You know, that's what else does he know? He's 10.
It's going to be disappointed eventually.
He's seen you do this job the whole time he's been aware of life.
Of course, but you know, when things become a little bit more real in person, when you've got a couple hundred people coming to see you do the thing, and I think it becomes it takes on a new kind of dimension for someone like that. We fucked him up real nice, guys.
Speaking about fucking him up, he fucks everyone up because he's the bad boy of games media. He's been politely holding his tongue because he's a little sicky poo, but I can tell that he's bursting at the seams to say a bunch of problematic things. Mike Manady.
Hi, I'm Mike Manady. Hey, I'm not a contributor here. This is my first Bombcast
It's your first day.
It's my first day. Day one, everybody. Day one.
He completely skipped full-time employment and went to co-ownership.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I was as shocked as anybody about that. I'll tell you
that.
what.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely caught something from Disney. I definitely have this cough and this crud. Right now, it's really just a cough. Sometimes I cough so much, though, that I get lightheaded. So if I pass out, that's why. It's okay. I'll be right back.
Mike, are you remembering to breathe in between these coughs?
I think, well, it's hard to breathe when you're coughing because, like, your, pipes are busy with the coughing, with the out. So the in is difficult.
I don't know if this is normal when you're sick, but I've been getting over just a standard cold. And for the last day, I've been blowing my nose, and it's just a ton of viscous dark blood.
That's not good.
But it's
That
like
seems normal.
I was showing it to like Bonk, and I was like, "Hey, this is gross, but is this normal?" And she's like, "Oh, sometimes if you're like blowing your nose a lot or whatever, that can happen. It's like a blood clot that forms. It's like and it's not bright. I think it's bad if it's bright red, right? Because that means it's like freshly gushing
New blood.
Okay, people are saying totally normal. Wait, not normal.
They'll-
Well, here's the
go
thing,
back-
too. I don't have health insurance right now.
No,
Good timing on this.
I'm pretty sure you do, number one. Number two, also, this will be the thing they go back to. They'll be like, oh, well, how did it start? Like, oh, if you go back to episode 890, he starts talking about problems with his face, remember? And that's how he died.
It is grosser than it sounds. It is just like dark,
No, it sounds- it's
goopy
gross.
blood.
What do you mean? You
so
didn't,
gross.
you didn't
Here's the thing, too.
oversell the grossness. What are you
so
talking
also,
about?
I had sinus surgery last summer, and they said
Yeah,
don't blow
that's
your
what it
nose.
is.
And then I had a sinus lift just a couple months ago, and they said don't blow your nose. And it's been like a couple months though, so I would figure it's okay. And I've had to blow my nose a lot with the cold in the last week, and now it's just deep bloody mess.
You're probably backed up with blood and like dried blood and snot. It's probably just that. Like, how do you feel?
We're so
I feel like
back. This is
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
This is
There's
it.
nothing-
We found it right away, guys. Didn't miss a beat.
No way to get people to sign on right away.
Giantbomb.com/join. That's right.
Arby's, get back to me, Arby's.
Yeah,
I
Arby's.
feel like I'm getting over a cold. I'm definitely not congested. I'm not dying like I was a few days ago.
You're probably fine.
Yeah, I think I'm probably fine. Thanks.
Well-
you're at the doctor.
So
Yeah, I'm not
Mike
gonna
says you're
bother him
fine.
with
That
this.
certainly
Does that
means
get passed
something.
down genetically, like doctor
Yeah.
knowledge?
Yeah,
We've
it's
talked
exactly
about this same exact thing before.
The bloody stuff?
No, about,
No, you
like,
asking if the knowledge passed down to Mike.
Oh, I see. Yeah, my
Yeah,
memory
we probably
did get
brought up
better all of a
Assassin's
sudden.
Creed and Kristen Bell. We probably did all that last time.
Oh, probably. Okay.
Yeah. Guys, you're not sticking to the script. Come on.
Oh, sure.
Hey, if you were wondering what happened to Giant Bomb the last couple of weeks, well, hey, we're here. If you missed the PAX panel, Jeff's, why don't y'all explain it?
Yeah, okay. So we basically, if you are just hearing this, we did put up like the PAX panel on the feed, but if you're like, well, I don't listen to live panels, here's a regular episode where we will explain things. Backler and I left fandom, and then in the process of that happening, we worked out a deal to acquire. We signed an agreement to acquire the assets for Giant Bomb. That's where we're at. It's the things have begun to be handed over to us. We're in the process of setting everything up. That is arduous. It's a lot, but we're getting there. In the meantime, it's business as usual on the content side of things. And then as far as the actual business, we are leaning into subscriptions. So giantbomb.com/join. That's going to be our primary way of funding this and doing a lot more of the things you all like to see. But yeah, that's where we're at. There's plenty more to come. Lots of like things that we want to do, but yeah, we're kind of handcuffed to just like getting things off the ground in the moment.
And we're listening right out of the gate. I mean, there's a quick look of Doom that went up this morning. So we've got some quick looks on the menu, a couple more that we're looking to do maybe even this week. Next week, I would like to do a demo derby. So get that out there. So it's like, that's the thing is we are going to have more time to focus on content now and less meetings. Like in the meetings we do have are about like content and stuff outside of all the obviously putting the business together stuff. But we're listening. So we're going to be making a lot of stuff and we will hear what you want.
The only thing I would stress is we are moving incredibly fast
It's insane.
at a speed at which I did not think was business possible.
Yeah.
But we are moving at business light speed. It is an exceptional speed, and it's scary, but also awesome. And with that should definitely come a sort of, let's call it universal patience and understanding as we find a way to land this plane with maybe one of the engines blown out and not a lot of flat land in eyesight there.
It's a
but we're
plane they
doing it.
built a while ago.
Yeah, it's fine, boys. Just plug in your iPod and just throw on some Evanescence. We'll be able to figure this all out.
God.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all you
Get me
need
started. Yeah.
is a good soundtrack, and anything's possible.
We do hear that. I don't know if this is a complaint, but one thing we've heard early on is that people want more ways to give us money, and we are amenable to that. So that is being looked at as well.
Yeah, we're looking at ways to do that. And if you want to buy stuff in the store right now, I've seen a lot of people saying they're going to do that. All that money goes to us now as well. So all those extra ways to show support that are there, that's great. And in the meantime, we're working on other ways to get that set up because right now we just have the one $10 tier for the subscription for the membership. And that's going to go a long way. We expect most people to go that way. But if you want to give more, we'll find ways to accommodate you for sure.
And we love and appreciate you for doing that. If you're not in a position to send any financial support, you just listening at home, is plenty to help out. Watching on Twitch, listening on YouTube, or I guess watching on YouTube as well.
Sure.
Do all the interactive bits. Do like I don't know, star something, like something, comment something, help the algorithm in our favor. That's right. Do all of that. Leave a review on iTunes. Do they still call it iTunes?
I don't know if they
I think it's
do, or
I think it's just called
Spotify.
podcasts or something, or yeah,
Apple
wherever it is.
Podcasts.
Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts. Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too, right? Like, you know, we have to be open and willing and, you know, accommodating to where people want to support us, right? And those are all the levers that we want to start to open up for people. And if they're comfortable with doing that, that's great. If not, that's also great. It really is about being as accommodating with people and where they want to support us, and obviously the universality of knowing that, hey, all that stuff is going directly into this business that we all share, and that's brilliant, and you can feel good about that. We all feel good about that. If there's one thing I want out of this whole experience is that everyone feels good about that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting on the dump truck to get all mushy because that's where we let our feelings out.
Well, that is the mushiest podcast. We know that.
I'm sure that's how people
Yeah.
describe it.
Yeah.
So I'll just hold my tongue until then. But I think I do want to get a preemptive glaze going on that the Jeffs have been working day and night to make this happen. And if it feels like, if Dan and I feel like we've kind of just coasted by and like hung on to the coattails of the Jeffs, or like we asked for uppies and they were just like, okay. And then we, you know, along the way, we found a empty stroller and Mike Manady was in there. And
Yep, baby Mikey.
He also asked for uppies. Shouts out to the Jeffs.
Yeah, it somehow just shook out in a way where the Jeffs are the ones that had to be in 8 million hours of meetings and stuff like that. And like, I think we would love to be in those calls, Jan, but I think legally, that's just not how it's going. I'd love to be there. They sound fun.
I didn't know what was happening.
Funny how that works out. Yeah, no, obviously, like, there was a lot, and there continues to be a lot, and we're gonna manage that together. And I can't wait to, I don't know, Grub, maybe give them some of that shit off our plate.
Oh yeah, yes.
But yeah, no, but seriously, obviously, you know, you guys had a lot of decisions to make and things to do and to take care of, and we appreciate that. Mike, you're here too. That's awesome.
Sorry, I do see chat say, thank God all the childless ones didn't have to be in the meetings.
Yeah, we were busy. Some of us had to go say hi to Mickey Mouse. Okay?
That is also weird how that worked out. I never quite did the math there, but hey, you know, math don't lie. But I want to thank so much of this community, because that's really what it is all about. Like in ways that I can't even put into words, because I'm just scared that saying too much of just how much this community is so much a part of this situation, and all of the warm wishes and the charitability and the offerings of support. And, you know, like, I'm looking at our stream now. Blake put that logo together. That's unbelievable stuff. Things we're not even asking for, right, are just coming our way. And it fills us up in a way that I can't describe. Our hearts are full. There's so much joy going around. It's fucking sick. I mean, I don't know other way to say it. It is so dope. So thank you.
We're just like in our Discord talking about like, God, anyone else just feeling like completely just reinvigorated and different and better? And it's like, I just wake up like, let's go. I can't wait to get down there and see what's going on. Like, this has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be an obscene amount of work. But I am happy to go to work because of y'all around in this video call right now, and y'all listening at home. Y'all make it all worth it to play this game of life. And speaking about games,
hey.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. I said it at the panel. This is my first Bombcast in what?
Is this
like a month or two? You were on one a little bit ago when someone was out of town. I think I was out, and you stepped in for me.
Oh, right. Oh, that was when we were announcing some other shit that we were doing at our previous ownership, and that's cool. But
yeah,
that was a one-off.
Yeah, well,
it's been a minute, boys.
You've been drowning in meetings in the last era of
40 years.
Yeah.
For 40
just
years.
say it, Backlard. Do you resent me for taking your spot? Just come out and say it.
Hash it out.
Look,
come on, this is a new era.
I'll say this.
He doesn't own anything yet.
There's an extremely short list of people that I would be okay with taking my spot on this show. You ain't on it, but there's absolutely a list out there, and nothing really to say other than that, Mike. Of course, are you kidding? Never in a million years, buddy. I'm so glad this is this man. You said it. The way that forces conspired to have us be in that spot we're in right now, with what our working relationship was, 2 weeks ago.
Right. Sure feels
Holy
better
balls.
now. Things feel great right now.
Yes,
Things
certainly.
feel fantastic. I opened up a game and I was happy to play a game. I was like, oh, I can go play a game. Wow.
Me
I'll enjoy-
and Grub
I'll-
are going to play Doom and put a video on the internet. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy something soon, I'm sure.
I know. I still really haven't had much time. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a cool breeze,
Uh-huh.
or some sort of like shade I can sit in and look at the sky. I'm sure it's coming.
Hey, I want to do a quick review real quick.
Okay.
The Cran Balls Buzzball, I think, is the best buzzball.
Wait, I didn't get any of those buzz balls because you bought some before the panel, but then we weren't able to bring those in. And well, actually, and also Grub got kicked out.
We should tell the story about getting kicked out of PAX.
So-
What happened?
I think this is a cascading effect, right?
Yeah.
Because I had a baggie full of buzz balls, and I gave my homegirl Jess Reyes a buzz ball, and it looked like in her hands, she's a very tiny lady. It looked like, oh, look at you! You look like a little cosplayer, and you're holding a potion. And then apparently an enforcer or security was like, "You can't have that, miss."
Is that after the panel?
After the panel.
Okay,
She thought it
yeah,
was
yeah.
a goof, and she was like, "Haha, funny." And then he like, "No, it's either I kick you out or you give me that buzz ball." Then
So I get to the panel and we're figuring things out. And the panel before us, who I don't know who they were, but apparently they have like a distillery in Denver. They just gave us a bottle of whiskey. And so I was under the assumption that they were up on stage drinking this and it must be all in the clear. And I wasn't thinking much about it. Frankly, I didn't care or need the bottle, but they offered it. So I took it and I showed you guys. Like, hey, we can maybe drink this. And then we were told we can't drink it on stage. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I put it in my bag. And then as the panel was ending, I think it's sticking out of the side of my bag, so it's visible. But I'm like, again, not even thinking about it. I think that must have been what it was because I didn't realize that the buzzball thing happened. We were talking in the middle of the hallway, and I was like, oh, we're doing the thing that they always yell at us for, which is we're blocking the hallway. We should move over to the side. And so when I see this lady and several of the other enforcers come up, I come up to me. I'm like, assuming it's them. I'm like, oh, should we be moving off to the side? And she says, no, because we've given you multiple warnings and you guys haven't listened. We're going to have to ask you to leave and take your badge. And I'm like, I've never talked to any of you before. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm like, you seem serious. I didn't have anything else going at PAX, so I just gave her my badge and I walked out of the place. I was like, that's completely fine. They're just trying to do their job. They're just trying to help out PAX. They're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So if there was some confusion, I'm like, I'm sure I can hash it out with PAX later and like explain the situation because it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just very bizarre in the moment.
Meanwhile, as you were getting kicked out, I have a clear glass filled with whiskey, clearly whiskey, walking down the hallway drinking it, and an enforcer came up to me and was like, "Is that alcohol?" And I looked at him and I said in I made a winky type of face without winking. I don't know if I've ever winked. I was just like, "No, it's apple juice." And he goes, "Apple juice, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, apple juice." He's like, "Okay." And I just kept like walking through the crowd drinking it.
Yep.
What's wrong with apple juice, right?
Nothing.
I have some
Absolutely.
problems with apple juice.
It's high in sugar. It's high in sugar. Yeah.
Grub, the story I heard from Michael Heim is that you got escorted out like someone like arm in arm with you.
Yeah, they definitely used the words escorting us out, but I if they were walking with us, I didn't see them. I'm just like, I was leaving anyhow. This is fine. So it was bizarre, but things like that happen at cons, and I'm like, at this point, I just go with the flow. I don't want to be in a Greg Miller situation where I'm banned from E3 or PAX or whatever like he is. So
You're not gonna have problems like getting in next time, though, right?
I don't think so, but like I said, like I'll find a chance to like really talk to the people over at PAX, make sure they know it's all good, but it's because it really was not a problem from my side, and if they if the enforcers need more like information, I was going to give it to them. But yeah, it was just weird. That's all.
I think you were set up, Grub.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt that way. Yeah, it definitely felt like Dan Reichert said it's apple juice, but you should go get that guy. I think it's kind of what happened.
That guy's got the problem. Yeah.
Oh, like we all have a hard time believing Dan would do that to a person.
Grub,
Yeah,
I
that
also
wasn't me.
anymore.
I also think you might have been racially profiled.
A little bit, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was, my people's put up with that for long enough, so yeah, of course. Ohioans, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
come on. All right. Well, let's go talk about the newest video games around the world. I've already played the music. Speaking about newest video games, Mega Man 5.
Oh, yeah.
This was actually just my go-to I'm in line game in Disney
Oh,
World.
fun.
Yeah, Dan hooked me up with the Ambernick SP, showing them off right there, which I was like, okay, because I miss having a tiny portable gaming device that is not my phone, because I hate using my phone in theme parks. It just feels like I'm just wasting precious battery life, and I don't really like that many phone games anyway. So like, oh, if I can have something that looks like a Game Boy Advance SP and it just plays old video games, that would be fantastic. And at first I was like trying to play some new stuff like Shinobi on the Master System. I was playing Act Racer on the SNES. That was good. And then very quickly I just went back to Mega Man, because that is games I'm very familiar with. They're games that are very fun to play. Just the way that they're designed, they're easy to play in chunks. So yeah, I was like basically just kind of slowly throughout the course of the week there, kind of made my way through all Mega Man 5 for probably the 30th time in my life, which is still a very good video game. But mostly it was just really funny to me playing Mega Man 5 on this thing. At one point we broke down on Spaceship Earth, and there was a lull there, so I just busted out my Ambernick and was playing Mega Man 5 right while the Michelangelo robot was painting the Sistine Chapel. And I was like, this is fantastic. I love everything about this.
I could be stuck here all day.
Yeah,
that is my go-to as well, as like, on those like SPs or any like analog and stuff. I will tell myself like I'm going to start Earthbound on this flight, and then it's like I'm just going to play A Link to the Past for the 400th time. Like it's just that comfort food thing. Like it's great for that.
Right, exactly, because it is short chunks. So like Act Racer was fun for a bit. I hadn't played it much. I was liking it. I definitely want to go play it. But it's like, boy, it's just really easy for me to go in and out of Mega Man 5 or any of the Mega Mans. And like the NES games especially.
NES games,
felt
yeah.
very comfortable on that thing. They ran well. They did not take up any battery, so that was never a concern with that thing. It was very easy to make save states, and you could just close the lid because you installed that special operating system on there. So yeah, that was that all worked out just like I was hoping. The one thing is that if I did it, then the nephew would see it sometimes too and be like, well, you're on a gaming thing. Can I have your phone and play games on there? So I had to install some weird mobile games that the kids are into right now.
Sega games?
Oh my lord!
Wait,
What
what
is
are
it,
those
like a
now?
Bigfoot one?
What?
One's called Block Blast, and
Yep.
it was so that's just
see.
like bad Tetris, I think. One was called Whiteout Survival, and at some
that
point he had to send an email to my account for parental permission that I had to then. And Mark was like, "Should I be doing this?" I was like, "Whatever, yeah, sure." So I don't know what the heck that was, and something called Total Battle. Just the most
Good
creative
name.
name.
The names are getting good though,
is
right?
the
Like,
icon a screaming dude?
No, it's just like a fortress in the middle of an ocean. The
Okay.
Whiteout Survival icon's pretty good. It's like a frozen Earth, and I think an ice cream cone is stuck on it. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
I should play these games. I should see
Yeah.
if they're
Come back
we
next
should
week.
do
We'll
a
talk
you're
about
gonna love
them.
them.
Quick look, block blast.
And then I'm walking around the park, and I look at other kids, and they're playing Block Blast, or probably one of 15 games that's exactly like it, I suppose. I don't know.
Something really drives me nuts when we say it's like bad Tetris. Like whenever I see someone playing, what's not 1099? What's the
2048?
2048, where it's like the threes, play threes.
Yeah.
That's the good version. That's the
Yeah,
original.
but 2048 's
Anytime
free.
I know, but every time I see it, I just want to be like, God damn it.
I know,
Like,
it drives me crazy.
Yep. We got big problems. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, it's rough for
Yeah.
us.
Yep.
Nothing's going our way, damn it.
Can't leave the house anymore. Yep.
Yeah, so I've had that call inside of me to well, I have the one that Grub graciously gave me, that one PAX, but like I have the call to have like a handheld in my pocket at all times to kill some time. Do you think if VR went the way that publishers, developers wanted VR to go, you think we would have, like, maybe 5-10 years down the line, just have a kid just going like, oh man, Gotta load up something while I'm in line, just throw on a good old helmet and have a retro experience of VR.
I think like what are doesn't Instagram have glasses or whatever that like they used to like as a camera? I think they're gonna try to get those to a point where those also just have the screen in it and they'll kind of match up the VR stuff with that.
Every flight I use those X-Rail glasses. That's how I watch like Hajime no Ippo and the flights out there. It's like plug into my Steam Deck and play stuff. It's awesome. I look goofy, I'm sure, but
I gotta be there the next time you do that, man.
they just look like sunglasses.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's good until everything just looks like glasses, like normal ass glasses. Nothing's really gonna change.
These ones, the extra ones, just look like kind of big sunglasses.
Big sunglasses, and I've got my prescriptions inside them, so I take my normal glasses off. I can see normally.
Oh god, just load up with a speaker hat too. Wow.
Yeah, that's a life right there. That's a cool dude.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Real cool. Yeah.
Well, Dan, it seems like you're on your way to becoming completely bionic, and it makes sense because you've been playing Bionic Bay.
Yeah, that was another flight one when I was going out to Japan for Death Stranding, which I will talk about that in a bit. I played a lot of that on Steam Deck. It's excellent for that. It is, I would call it like a Limbo Inside like in terms of just like very, some serious vibes going on, like a 2D platformer.
This is your shit.
Hold on, I'm going vertical.
Yeah, look it up. Great vibe to it. Very, very atmospheric. And then it's like heavier on the platforming than like Limbo. Like it does have puzzles and stuff like that, but I'd say it's more action platforming with a bunch of abilities and stuff, like tagging an item and then having a button that like swaps you basically between, like if I tag a barrel and then I run forward, I can hit like I think L1 and then you and the barrel switch, and there's a lot of fun kind of like puzzle stuff going on with that.
Cool.
It's got the way the like kind of dive jump and everything works feels kind of Mario Odyssey to me. That feeling I would get when I'm like jumping on my hat and stuff like that. So some great momentum to it, some great physics, good puzzles, and just very, very atmospheric. Gets right into it. Doesn't really spend a lot of time with story, but yeah, it really helps some hours melt by on the flight.
Wait, this is a cinematic platformer, you said? Like,
I don't know if I'd call it cinematic necessarily. Like again, I'd say Limbo is heavier on like the cinematic stuff, and this is heavier on like the platforming puzzle stuff, I think.
Right, but like, is it like does it have that like weight to the movement of like the original Prince of Persia platformer or Blackthorn or something like that?
No, it feels way more. It feels more like a Mario, I would say.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's like a physics a platformer with a physics system. So like you're carrying your momentum and stuff like that. You can
a lot of that, and it's speedy. It's definitely like a kind of a high action platformer more than it is a like, oh, the scary spider is going to come and start this little cutscene thing. Which I love Limbo, but this is definitely more my speed, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. All right, cool.
Fantastic. Speaking about jumping, hopping, and bopping and things falling into place, I've been playing a game called, I don't know how to say the second word here. Drop Duchy?
The Tetris Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Is it Tetris Carcassonne or Tetris? Was that how they? It's Carcassonne, right?
Carcassonne. Oh,
Kinda, yeah.
Dutchy then, yeah, for sure.
It's
Okay.
Dutchy.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'll pass this on the left-hand side then.
Yes. Yes.
So, y'all know me. I'm a freak for tiles, but I think this will tickle all of us because it is also Tetris adjacent because you have a grid. And Grub, hear me out here. Kind of a roguelike.
Okay. All right.
There's also a card system.
How does that work? All right.
So you similar to like a Slay the Spire, you have like a tree with different instances of like, okay, this is going to be a resource run. This is going to be a combat run. This is just like a random thing. Here's a store. And how it works is that you have your different Tetris shaped tiles are terrain tiles. And instead of when you make a line clearing that space, you collect those resources of the tiles that make up the line. So if you have some plains that link up with some trees and a mountain, you get all of the resources in that line fed into your bank. And it's cool because on top of the different terrain tiles that you get, you will also have different production buildings, military buildings that interact with the different terrain tiles. So say you got a bunch of forests going on, you slap on like a wood cleaver building, which is like a 1x1 square, and it transforms in an area of effect all of those trees into plains. And then like that synergy starts quickly building on top of each other, because then you'll have a military unit that will get more units if it is by more planes. So if you think you boned yourself by putting a watchtower, which relies on planes, amidst a bunch of trees, you slap on a wood cleaver a couple turns later, and then that transforms all those trees to planes. So the planes feed back into the watchtower, and it's pretty neat because you also have to start worrying about combat. In combat, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around how it works, because there is like the Fire Emblem style hierarchy of like this beats that, that beats this, and like slightly more effective. So you are also in charge of placing the enemy tiles. And just like Tetris, you can choose to reserve a tile. So if you're being smart about it, you don't have to put all of the enemy tiles out. You can just have like a really nasty one in your reserve tile, and that doesn't get counted in to the fight calculations. And how the fight calculations work is that, okay, I'm going to try and explain this how I think it works. And that you either have like an axe army infantry, sword infantry, or archers, and then it will take the highest number, and then you would subtract from the enemies. So say you have like 20 archers and you're fighting 20 axemen on the or 10 axemen on the enemies, you would just get 10 left over.
Okay.
But then how this works out with your friendly units is that you can shoot your arrows to go to some axemen or some swordsmen, and then it would add up all of that to make one big army instead. And how the flow of the game works is you're just trying to progress through the tree. You have like 50 HP, so whatever enemies you do not take out at the end of a round gets calculated and subtracted from your like life points. Those life points carry on from instance to instance. You have like a finite number of cards, and those cards are your buildings and your terrain. And the cool thing is it projects with each different level of like, oh, this is going to be very plains heavy, this is going to be very mountain heavy, so you can kind of switch up your building cards to match up with what you got going on and what you want to plan to go on. It plays great on the Steam Deck. It's just everything is just so goddamn teensy on it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot on the screen in terms of, because you know the main well here is Tetris for sure, but then there's a ton of info on the side of the screen. So, and then if you need, and like for the cards, you're gonna have to have the specific stuff. Yeah, it just looks like there's a lot going on. It reminds me in terms of in terms of presentation of Odama a little bit.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, I remember that.
Yeah.
That gets me excited.
Yeah, other than like the the text being a little too small, like after you place like a building on your map, it's kind of hard to like re-identify what it is. Of like, oh, what should I be
sure.
synergizing with that?
Is this just on Steam Deck? Because like, you know, have you played on PC? Is it better on that?
I haven't played it on PC. I'm sure it plays perfect on like a nice big monitor.
Yeah, I mean, just visually, like, you know, readability wise.
Yeah,
I'm sure the readability is like better on.
Yeah, it
on,
looks like it would work fine if you're playing on PC with a mouse and keyboard.
Cool.
Yeah, but we need more Odama likes.
Yeah,
Many people are saying this. Yeah.
I'm gonna get this on the Steam Deck as well. This I'm at least gonna try this for a little bit. I wonder if it's gonna click for me.
Yeah, I want to do a quick look of it. The cool thing though is that it has like a bunch of achievements in the game, like, hey, harvest 10 fields or get this amount of resources in a run or a round, and those achievements are like lifetime achievements that you can use to unlock things on your greater skill tree. And I unlocked rivers, and I have yet to come across a river, so I'm curious as to like how that will start to synergize with everything else.
And this is the roguelite element of the stuff you're unlocking as you go into new runs. Okay, all right, yeah.
And like that is the
makes
thing
sense.
that is persistent across.
I see in the video like upgrading cards. Are those like you're upgrading during the run, or are you upgrading them permanently?
You're upgrading them on the runs.
Okay.
So in between the actual like expeditions and everything, you just trade your resources to upgrade the cards, and generally that will affect how much they're harvesting, like how many pieces of wood they're harvesting per line, or the AOE of like transformation with some of the tiles.
Drop Dutchy, we said, right? Yeah,
Drop
okay.
Dutchy, Drop Duchy, Drop Deutsche, one of those.
It's like Duchess, right? Yeah. So
Oh, that
Dutchy.
makes
It is 1,000,000% Dutchy. Yes.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. There's light crafting in the game, but Jeff Grubb, I want to hear about your crafting in Roadcraft.
Yeah, Roadcraft is here. This is the latest like bash trucks into mud game from Saber Interactive, who's done Mud Runner and Snow Runner. They also did Mud Runner Expeditions last year, I think, which was more of a kind of a game that took the idea of these driving these trucks around in this tough terrain, but made it the missions much more bite-sized, and it was a good idea. Roadcraft, though, is an evolution of those games, where it's still very much about you have these trucks that are realistically modeled in terms of their physics and their interaction with the ground. So if there's mud and it's loose and it's difficult to drive through and it's really wet, it's going to cause your truck could get stuck very easily. It's still that, but the way that you are using these vehicles has been refined to the point where it's like, okay, now you really are doing specific cleanup missions as a crew meant to get this city back up on its feet. And so that means, hey, a storm came through or a storm's about to come through. And so you need to actually take a bulldozer and move some like stuff out of the way and actually push it off to the side. And then you can take that same bulldozer and then switch to one of the tool from pushing stuff to actually like stripping the ground. Let's strip up this old asphalt, and then you get another vehicle to lay down new asphalt and build new roads. And it's kind of exactly where this series and this idea from Saber should be going, because it's a very satisfying thing to like have all these vehicles and have to still deal with the reality of moving them around in hostile terrain. But then you have a good idea of like the goal that you're going for, and you have like there's a bunch of fun interactions you could do now because you are trying to accomplish like the rebuilding of a road. So I'm still pretty early, but so far I'm like, this is really working for me. It's the right idea, I think, for the future of Mud Runner in general.
Grubb, I know you really like these type of games and everything.
Yeah.
And like, let's say in an alternate universe where this game's coverage thing didn't work out, would you and your brain work well with the idea of like laying asphalt, like just being out there in the heat, laying asphalt, 8 hours a day, clock out?
Just be an asphalt man. I mean, I like yes, I wouldn't mind that all that much. I would definitely like you know what I would want to do is the vehicle rescue things. Have you ever seen these on YouTube where these guys
Pimp My Ride?
No, that's a little bit different.
That's a different rescuing of a ride.
Yeah, okay.
This is one where like people will like go out to Arizona or something, and they'll rent a car that's meant for off-roading, and then they'll go a little bit too off-road, and so they have to call in experts who can sort of get the vehicle and rescue it out of a ravine. That's what I would want to do.
Right. Yeah, okay. Right. Like my dad always says his dream job would be like an assembly line thing where it's just like 8 hours a day, just like putting a screw onto a thing, another thing, put another screw onto another thing.
Got some good news for him. We're all going to be doing that job apparently.
Are you bringing this up because it's like, why are you bringing that up? I don't understand.
Well, because certain
that
people
sounds terrible.
I think it's interesting how like certain people, like, you know, Grubb saying he would be okay with like the asphalt laying thing, or like, you know, like my dad talking about the repetitive thing, like that would drive me insane. I would not be able to. I think it's interesting how certain people are wired certain ways, you know?
Oh, buddy, you said it. Well, I want to unpack that with Paul. Sir, what do you mean? You want to be a robot? You want to be an arm on an assembly line?
Paul thinks he wants that. I think
exactly.
He wants that, but once he needs to get up and like, you know, put shoes on and drive to the factory.
Yeah,
he's like,
right. And like talk to coworkers at lunchtime.
Yeah.
As if that's the most demoralizing aspect of your fantasy job, Paul. Getting up and going to this robot job.
Well, that's
Did I tell you about his neighbor place that doesn't ever have anyone living in it? Did I tell you about this? That he's excited about? Yeah, because you know he moved into a trailer because he didn't want to talk to neighbors when he smokes, and he's really excited because the trailer next to his never has anyone in it anymore because people think it's like haunted because the last tenant was a murder-suicide situation, and the guy before that threw himself in front of a train, so no one wants to move into that trailer, and so he's like, hell yeah, no one to talk to when I smoke in that one.
Giantbomb.com/join.
That's what you get. That's what you get with your membership. Unlimited Paul Reichert stories. I don't even know how to follow that up, Dan.
No, there was actually another story that Dan shared with us, but I don't think we need to cover about that. That was about Paul making a game changing decision. And
what?
No.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're not
this,
gonna-
Mike.
we're
I
not
bet
gonna
he'd be
do that.
okay with me telling that.
We
No,
have to
tell it.
now.
No,
I don't know if
Tell
I'm
it.
okay with that.
I don't want to.
I need to hear it.
Who's HR? Who's HR for us?
I
Mike.
designated myself as HR, and I allow it.
Cool. That's how that decision should be made. You've heard the
I'll
story.
tease it. He made a discovery while he was peeing the other day based on a new thing of clothing he had and access he had to the toilet being different. And he said out loud to himself while he was peeing, "Oh, game changer."
Wait.
Okay,
I'm
so-
sorry. I need
Yeah.
more details.
Wait.
What could I cannot
He
fill in
just
the
found
gaps
a
here?
lazier
Well,
way to
tell-
get his penis out.
Tell
okay,
about the
that-
fancy East Coast.
He wears. He
Oh.
told me all he wears now are fecks. Which I said, what the fuck are fecks? And he said, that's what I call fancy East Coast sweatpants, which are the $18 joggers that we found on Amazon. And he bought
Those
a bunch
are-
of them,
Fancy
yeah. So those are
sweatpants.
fecks. It's fancy East Coast
Fex is
sweatpants.
kind of funny. Okay.
Is he taking his
So-
penis out? Is he just like peeing down the side of his leg now? What's going on?
He
Yeah.
just found a quicker way than having to like lower his pants. There's more of just
He
a direct
lifts up
line.
his short leg. All right,
Yeah.
like he just lifts up the short leg,
And
and
he
yeah.
said game changer while peeing out the
That's
side of his shorts.
What?
This implies that he's been pissing the wrong way for so long.
Game changer.
No, it just takes him longer to have to go, bring it down and flip it over the top.
Hey, you know what? I actually have a question about peeing etiquette.
Yeah,
all
what's
right?
up?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
pedicate.
okay.
Yeah.
Etiquette. All right. There are urinals in a men's bathroom, right? And like, there's no door to close. That's cool. Fine. Sure.
Yeah.
Either
Sure.
way.
Sure.
Say you're in a smaller stall, maybe like you got like one poo-poo stall and you get like a urinal.
Yes,
Yeah.
never okay to look if that's your question.
That's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
Sometimes
yeah, that's your rule only. Also, Mike. Let Jan continue. Let's go.
say the stall is very close to the sink. And you know that someone is already peeing in there because you can fit two people at least. Why wouldn't you close the stall door if you're just gonna be like standing up to pee and you're like standing pretty far away, so then you can kind of see the whole business?
Oh yeah. Are you correct me if I'm wrong? Are you talking about like why close the stall door if you're just pissing?
This person did not close the stall door while he was pissing.
Yeah, I don't do
should've.
that
They
either.
should've.
I don't do that either. No, I
Really?
don't. Yeah, because like I've got no problem seeing someone watch me go at a urinal. They can
In someone's back. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
back.
they can watch me
But
go
just
to
close
toilet.
it.
No,
Oh,
because I
close it.
want them to also know that like this is gonna be short. You're gonna be okay.
No,
it's a
I want
courtesy.
to know that somebody's
Oh.
in there is what I want to
Yes,
know. I don't care
right.
what they're doing. I
you'll
want to know
see-
it's occupied.
The door being closed, it's sometimes a mystery.
Grub, speak up. Where do you land here?
Yeah, I got to be honest, guys. I don't care. Whatever. Either way.
Yeah,
You knew where this was going.
This one, I'm like, Mike, you're right. I was over here like, I should have an opinion on this one. I'm like, I don't think I do. I don't
Man.
care.
Oh,
Shit.
how about this? We can all agree on the fact that like whoever is designing public restrooms is bad at it.
Oh, yeah.
And, like
Because they started
interesting.
getting rid of the troughs, right?
Yes, I was about to say we should all
No,
be peeing
no.
in troughs together,
Yeah,
like
no.
little
Bring the
piggies
troughs
we
back.
are.
No.
Mike, your team
Yeah.
trough?
Oh, hell yeah! I
Piggies
peed
don't
trough.
pee in troughs.
Who
I peed in a Wrigley Field trough one time. It was a religious
Yes.
experience. It
Imagine,
felt so good.
here's the top tier peeing experience. Trough with ice in it.
Yes, the ice. The
Okay,
ice.
great. Listen, who was it? You guys were talking about the horseshoe-shaped trough, where people had to
that's
look
right.
at each
It was
other.
like
That
on a
was weird.
stand.
Where people had to like lock eyes while
Mike,
doing
when I
it.
took you to get Juicy Lucy's, Mike, and did you pee in the one there? It's a hollowed out beer keg with ice in it.
Yeah, I think I told you it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Man, I
Yeah,
can't
very-
romanticize pissing in a trough as much as you can. But
no one can.
whoever is designing these things, I realize space is limited and maybe you don't put all the square footage against pissing and pooping and all that. That's fine. But whoever is real, like every now and then I go into a bathroom and I'm just like, what kind of insane, disgruntled architect contractor
Yo.
had the demonry to like do what went on in here?
To
you
build
know?
off of that, how come no one has figured out like the soap, like the area underneath the soap dispenser to not be god awfully messy and wet?
Oh, what are we
Yeah.
doing? It's just a series of poor decisions left and right. Like,
I-
you're going to have the blower go onto the urinal too? So when everyone washes their hands, they're going to get blown? Like, come on.
I will tell you, as someone who's intimately familiar now with Kojima Productions' bathroom, you may have heard of the panel. It's maybe the nicest bathroom I've been in.
because what do you mean? Of course, I'm not talking. I'm talking about a dive bar.
Stalls.
Yeah,
It's like incredible.
it's Japan.
Not duvets. What is it? Bidets that with like a heated sink. So the
Duvet.
second you
Duvet.
sit down, it's warm. They can like play music and stuff. Like you can like press a button and it'll play music so they can't hear you splashing and shitting. Oh man, it's all just like it looks like the last room in 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's all just like bright white light and everything.
Well, that's maybe not the best color for a bathroom, but sure, I think I like it.
Even after I was done with it, I made sure
Feels good.
I respected that bathroom so much. I made
What would
sure
be
it
the
stayed
most
pristine.
upsetting dominant color in a restroom?
Yellow.
Beige.
Yellow, beige.
I think entirely black actually is pretty upsetting.
Yeah, because then like
Because
you
it
start
hides a
questioning,
lot.
like,
Yeah.
why is the floor sticky?
There was a place we were at in for Comic-Con New York this past October. There was a party I was at, and the entirety of the bathroom, floor to ceiling, was like black porcelain, and you're just like, what am I touching at any given moment? What's happening? It's all a fun house of germs and everything. It was deeply upsetting.
I was at the scary, spooky monster section of that new Universal Park, and the restrooms there are black, but that's theming. So, like, the black porcelain seemed cool.
Dan,
How do we
you're
feel
excited.
about the bathroom in The Shining, the red one? If you Google The Shining bathroom,
Yeah, well,
there's the
it's
specific red
upsetting.
one.
It's supposed to
Upsetting?
be.
I love it. I think it looks so
Love
sharp.
it.
I'll give me the bathroom in The Shining is pretty cool. With like subway tile too,
That's
right?
nice. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
like
awesome.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Let's design the worst bathroom is certainly yellow. It has carpeting, wall to wall carpeting.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't
Also,
exist.
also,
There's
it has
people
an
who have
attendant in
carpeting.
there.
What's
It's
that?
just a
It has, like,
Target
a-
bathroom, by the way. This one from The Shining.
Yeah, the worst bathroom has a bathroom attendant in there.
Yes, and the bathroom attendant is only wearing socks.
What?
Yeah,
Dick
because
out.
it's all carpeted. No, what? No,
Have
no,
you
no, no.
seen this?
You said only socks!
We're designing. We're doing a bit of a mind thought experiment. We're designing the worst possible bathroom
Well, yeah,
environment.
okay. Yeah, there's a guy in there who punches you in the face. Like,
No,
I'm
no, no,
talking
no,
about
this-
things that you've actually seen, you know?
I've seen carpet in bathrooms, not in like public, but in private, and it's deeply, deeply horrifying.
Sucks.
Have y'all ever seen that hand drying thing that looks like it's just a conveyor belt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We used to have those at my school, and, they're gross. A bar opened like a few years ago that had one of those, and my younger brother was just so confused that he just ripped it off and started drying his hands with it. So, the next time we were there, they had a normal one. He just literally kind of destroyed it. He was so confused by it.
All right. Well, we're talking about the dark ages of peeing, so we might as well talk about Doom, the Dark Ages.
Oh, that game's cool.
The
We
game
did the
looked
quick
really
look.
cool.
That's up there now. Grub, you haven't played it yet, have you?
No.
But you seem to be liking what you were seeing during that quick look.
Yes, what you showed there was like, okay, yep, this is exactly what I'm in the mood for from Doom. It just looked, all the words, visceral, all that stuff, just impactful. And then I just think the design and everything was super on point.
Yeah, there was a thing where it's like, the early trailers, I was wondering like, is this going to go too far in the fantasy direction and not feel doomy enough for me? But no, it's a Doom-ass Doom game. You're getting super shotguns and grenade launchers and stuff. Some of them are like aesthetically a little more medieval looking, like the grenade launchers, these like spiky balls, and it looks awesome. They've got some weight to them. They bounce. But yeah, it's a Doom game. It introduces some elements that are definitely new to this one, or feels that way, where like green projectiles, that's a pretty common thing, or green attacks that enemies will do. That means you can parry it with your shield. So if you hit LT with a pretty generous window on the default difficulty, you can either reflect a projectile back, or you can kind of stagger someone out of a melee and then like hit a big melee flail combo, stuff like that. Like it is a little more focused on parrying, a little more focused on melee. But it all works really great. This shield dash is awesome, where it's like if you're holding your shield up from pretty far away, you can just dash into a group, fuck them all up with a shield, kill 5-6 dudes at once. And then it's got these interactions where it's like if things have metal shields or metal armor, you can shoot it until they get like hot and they get like glowing orange, and then you can throw your shield at it and it'll explode their armor or their shield and deal a bunch of damage around them. Similarly, there are like energy shields, like plasma shields that are blue. And if you use a plasma weapon on those, you'll blow up a lot of stuff around them. So it's just a lot of like identifying an enemy that's like, okay, I'm going to use that and blow up a bunch of stuff around him. And super fast arena combat. The melee stuff is really great. It's fantastic. I like it a lot more than Eternal.
Dan, you mentioned comparing it. Some parts of it felt like a Housemarque game, but like watching that quick look, it felt really Returnal-esque.
Yeah, like especially like some of the bigger, like kind of mid-boss and boss type enemies, or some of the like dragon and mech sections where it's not full-on bullet hell, but it is a bit more than I would expect from a Doom game, because you are just looking at like, okay, dodge or shield all the orange projectiles. It kind of that Ikaruga, kind of color-coded thing of like, okay, I'm gonna go over here, get my shit in there. So yeah, it's not full Returnal, and I wouldn't even say it's like the quality of Returnal. Returnal is like on a tier of its own when it comes to that type of like projectile boss bullet hell combat, but it does it a lot better than I think I would have expected from a Doom game. And then it also has I showed off the mech section, the Atlan stuff, and the dragon combat, which that stuff is just fun. Like I think if that was every other level, I would get tired of it. But Grub, we were doing the thing where like you said it's like a kaiju size thing, and you're like looking at a bridge full of enemies that when you're just a dude, they're like hulking creatures. But when you're this kaiju mech thing, you're just stomping through bridges and have this supercharged turret gun and just annihilating entire levels of enemies, and it feels awesome.
Dan, in that quick look, I suggest everyone check it out after this. You rev up your dragon.
Yeah. Your dragon has pedals on it and energy wings, and like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's a dragon, but this isn't Game of Thrones. This is a Doom-ass Doom game. It's like, what is the most Doom-looking dragon you could have? And like mechanical parts and energy wings and pedals and stuff like that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the word going around is like this was going to be more slow and deliberate, but it still just looked chaotic. So I don't think that people should take away that this is like lumbering, because that's why I suggest that. And you're like, it definitely doesn't feel that way when you're playing. It's not as fast as Eternal in terms of like all of the movement options you had, but there's definitely a ton going on still. Well, did you find any differences there?
I mean, I just feel like with Eternal, they just gave you too many things to tweak and too many options in combat and stuff like that, to where it's like, you get to the flamethrower and beyond, it's just like, oh man, I'm kind of like losing track of what I should be doing here. And then Eternal felt slower to me in some ways, in that like it would really hit the brakes at times and have a big platforming section,
right?
Which I like platforming, but not exactly what I go to Doom for. Whereas this one, it doesn't feel lumbering to me. Like I feel like I'm constantly doing some like high action like arena combat, and I think it feels better than Eternal did. This makes me feel closer to how I felt with 2016.
Cool. Okay. That's good. Yeah. I was just super impressed with the way it looked too. Just thought it really nailed I know you were worried about the fantasy. For me, I'm like, this is exactly what I want. Looks like a metal album cover. They really got it right.
Yep. So love it. Definitely gonna keep going with it. I'm like, 9 chapters in now. I think there's something like 22. So definitely gonna keep moving.
That shield looked mighty neat.
Oh,
like
the shield.
Dash.
And you can do like the dash, the parry, the throw. That thing it's not just a gimmick. That is a big part of the combat here.
I was going to ask, is it Rygar-like at all?
I don't think I ever really played much Rygar.
Well, we can
probably ranked
it
once. When people say Rygar, are they talking about, is this NES?
There's an NES Rygar.
There's NES and the
there's
PS2 reboot.
PS2.
Yeah,
yes.
this like frisbee thing, right?
Yep, basically.
Like a chain shield.
Chain frisbee?
I always get Rygar and Karnov confused.
Fair.
Because I didn't really play either of them, but you hear them come up every once in a while. And Rygar and Karnov's like a circus man with a mustache.
Yeah, but the
basically
Rygar,
strong man.
Riker, there's something there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's just something happening to your name
we
there.
Can't make a whole feature on giantbomb.com just because it's got a punny name.
No one would ever do that.
By the way, stay tuned for Monday morning's Missed with Mitch, parentheses Mike.
Also, all of Steal My Sunshine, free on YouTube now.
We haven't given him the keys to stream yet, right? Like he's still fine.
No.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still time.
It's too late. I
think
made
he
a
has
logo.
to bring it to the board before he just goes
Too
rogue
late.
and streams Mitch on Mondays or streams Mist on Mondays. Fuck.
Streams Mitch. It's so good. You're always getting mixed up. I'm identified with it now.
Okay. We talked about this, I guess, not at the PAX podcast, but the podcast before that. I think this is my current game of the year, but I'm excited to hear what Jeff Bakalar and Jeff Grubb have to say about Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yep. You've been playing this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm French now. That's how it goes.
Oh, we chef.
You know, I feel like on its face, I was really worried that this was going to be a game that I kind of like. I don't know. Turn-based RPG stuff isn't always like my bag. There is a language that this game speaks. Thankfully, it's English.
French.
It's not. Surprisingly, it is English. No, I think there's the right mix of style and presentation. I will say this: like, I think it's a very weird sort of and compelling jump into the narrative of like this group of people who are seemingly evaporated in this alternate timeline once a certain date hits, and you are part of this sort of group that is meant to, go out on this adventure. And, don't want to give too much of it away, but certainly, like, I think the setup has been one of the in a game where I kind of didn't think I was going to care about what anyone was saying. I was more like about the style.
Me too.
Yeah. It's kind of dope. Like,
It's
kind of like a
cooking.
really cool freaking idea in a way where I'm like, oh, this would work in any kind of medium. This kind of story. It's like it is compelling in a way that I'm frankly surprised by. And then when you start to unpack the combat situation, I think what they are trying to do is delivered in a very accessible way, to my surprise as well, where I'm like, I get this. I understand what's at stake. I understand the currency I'm spending when I'm fighting. I understand all of these things. This game also looks phenomenal from every, top to bottom. Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away and surprised as to how much I'm really digging this experience. It's I think it wins the most points for me just because of how refreshing and kind of unique the whole thing feels, and carving out its own path in a genre that is obviously dominated by a lot of stuff we've all seen before. Holy smokes, I'm into it. Yeah, and I just, the French stuff, you're French now. Everyone, that it's time the French got back into video games in a big way, is what I've been pounding on my desk all these decades. And
what's your favorite French game?
It's Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Famously French.
The most French game of all
It has
time.
baguettes in it. Well,
It
does.
does. Yeah.
we won. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, wow, I mean, where's your mind at with it, Grub? Like, what? Are you there?
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I've been kind of getting back into it since we got back from PAX, and I played a little bit. I do think that this is the game that's making me realize that I think my Intel 13th generation CPU is busted because nothing's running anymore. I'm gonna get
really?
Yeah, I think it's shot. I'm gonna get a new CPU and stuff like that. But whatever. I've been trying to force myself through it anyhow because it's like running at like 30 frames per second a lot of times.
It's the same computer I have.
Basically, but now with a 5080 in it. So yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but okay, interesting. So just for color there, the bug that power distribution bug, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah,
with the Intel chips? Yeah.
Yes, the whole, it was like the whole 12th and 13th generation of higher end chips were just busted. So, and they get worse over time.
Right, and presumably you just replace that chip, which is not an expense, but certainly
but I mean, at this point, it's like if I'm going to do that, I would probably get a whole new motherboard so I could use a whole different generation of chip, probably AMD, so I don't have to deal with this at all. But whatever, that's another thing. I think this game continues to be really surprisingly good at everything it's trying to do. I really love that they have an overworld.
Yeah.
You kind of like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, but RPGs, why'd you stop doing that in the first place? This is fantastic. I love just having a little guy going on a big map or whatever. And then the combat still just keeps getting better and better. Once you start realizing that a lot of the parrying and dodging comes down to really listening to that audio. If you could, because it always winds up. It winds up like with both visually, like as an enemy is like winding up to hit you, but the sound does as well, and so that makes it a lot easier to get that timing right. And the parrying feels great every single time. I just kind of got into like the second area, like the cool water stuff, not too long ago, and it's like, oh, they're gonna do awesome stuff with the setting as well. So yeah, this game's probably gonna rule. If this is the first area really I'm going to after the basic fantasy area, it's like, oh, okay, they're really gonna cook. So I'm on the hook for this game. I think at this point, I really want to play through as much of it as I can.
It's the game that I missed the most while I was out gallivanting in Florida.
Oh,
so
you poor guy.
I know it's
Mikey,
Mikey.
you are going. I'm hoping and I'm assuming, based off of what I know about your taste, that you are going to absolutely die for this game.
Oh, I already got in a bit. Like I'm 10 hours
Okay.
in, and I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing. I absolutely love it, and I just want to play more. And if there's ever been one of these kind of games that I think Dan would like, I don't know if he will.
I want to.
Yeah.
No, but Bianca's been playing it, and I've been watching, and it's like, okay, I'm intrigued. I like the tone of it. It seems to have a silliness that I enjoy. I even saw some like weird little mini games and stuff like that, and the combat itself looks fantastic. I think the look of the game, the aesthetics look awesome too. The story sounds intriguing to me. Like, yes, Mike, I think you're totally correct. If there was a turn-based, like I like Mario and Luigi, I like Paper Mario. Give me something to do during the turn-based stuff, and this certainly seems to have it.
There's
I
a
think
lot
I
to
might
do.
like it. Yes,
It's more the stuff you do. Like there is the when you attack, you can time some button presses, but
That's
it is
some of
more
it, yeah.
the defensive stuff is
Yes.
where you are really doing the extra bits there, and it feels
Well,
just so good.
When you win a battle because you did 2 awesome parries in a row, it's like, oh, okay, that great. I thought I was waiting for my next turn. It's like, no, I was not. This is fantastic. Even the getting to points where it's like, oh, you're fighting a group of flying enemies, and you're supposed to kind of shoot the flying enemies, like in not real time. You're both still just standing there, but you could hold down the left trigger to aim, pull the right
So
trigger to
good.
shoot.
Oh my
And
God.
it's like because they're flying enemies, they're harder to hit with your standard attack. So you're supposed to just shoot them. So it's like that was a quick fight where I just shot like a guy 6 times and that was it. And it's like, oh, that keeps the fighting feeling fresh, as like each fight can feel different from the next depending on the kinds of enemies that you're going up against. So just a really well thought out game overall.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for stories in RPGs, and then this is firing off on all those cylinders, like you mentioned, Bacalar. Performances in the game across the board fantastic as well.
Yep.
Friend of the site, Ben Starr's in it. I don't. You're gonna get very acquainted with his role in this game if you stick with it. But Charlie Cox, wow, look at that guy. He can act, huh?
Did a really good job.
Yep, everyone's doing good. The music's incredible, just aesthetically pleasing all around.
One of my favorite things in this game is that it helps me get over not a fear, but I guess like a preference where I just detest the artistry of mimes, and this helps me get out all of my aggression on mimes
Because you're killing them.
because I'm killing them.
it's like the Paris level of Twisted Metal 2.
Exactly.
It's
the same,
just
yeah.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Put it on the box, Claire Obscure. And Mike Manady, you've been playing something on this list that I'm curious about dipping back into. I've been kind of fiending to get back into, and maybe the 5 of us could roll into it. Overwatch
Ooh, that'd
2.
be awesome.
Yeah, I heard Overwatch 2 is good again. I don't think it ever really stopped being, good, but it got to a point where that was a game that I played a lot of almost 10 years ago, right? Like that game is 9 years old this month, I think. And I played a lot of it. They had the sort of big change when it became Overwatch 2, and a lot of that stuff I didn't necessarily love with the free-to-playness and going on to 5 people. So it just made it very easy for me to finally move on from that game and, still kind of think fondly of it. But they added this new mode called Stadium. Everybody seemed to like it, so I checked that out, and it's a really good new mode. It's still
Ooh.
5v5, and there's kind of 2 components to it. One is the actual competition, where instead of just playing on one map and one game type, it's a best to 4 kind of thing, and you're doing a bunch of mini objectives. So it's like you're going to go to this map and you're just going to play 1 point, right? Or it's just like a very short version of pushing the robot so you gets it closer. And again, it's these shorter rounds, and it's whoever wins 4 rounds first. But then there's also a progression system between the rounds, kind of like a Counter-Strike or kind of like a MOBA, where you can buy upgrades and perks for your hero. So I've been doing Soldier 76 a lot. And there's things where you can kind of just do it your own, but it also just suggests what builds you should get and what things you should be buying. So eventually I'm buying these abilities that just make my, missile rocket launcher ability stronger. Where it's like, okay, now I'm firing 2 of them and the blast radius is stronger. And those are kind of like the bigger bonuses that change the way they actually work. But then there's also the passive buffs that you can buy where it's just like, okay, now the ability damage is higher, the recharge time is higher. So there's some customization there with all of that in the way it works is where it's like, oh, as you keep playing, everybody's getting more powerful. So it just kind of does, you get that power creep, but in a satisfying way. And if for some reason it's like tied 3-3, then by the end you're all picking some really kind of wild abilities. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like a neat sort of change for. It's kind of delivering at least a little bit on that original Overwatch 2 promise, where there's going to be that co-op campaign where you were going to have talent trees and augment the heroes' abilities. I'm still kind of mad we didn't get that, but this is at least some of those ideas in a satisfying way.
Okay. I'm sorry. Like the mode itself is like it's a round based thing. Is it like Counter-Strike? Is that what I should be thinking, or what?
A little bit. It's almost like how long each round works, and like after the round, you go to the shop and you buy things, but like those are permanent, right? It's not you're not buying for each round. Again, it's not Counter-Strike in terms of like the setup there, where it's like you die, right? But like Counter-Strike, the MOBA, just in terms of you're buying those upgrades, and it's it's the first to win 4 rounds. So it's like a game of Stadia maybe takes as long as a game of just normal Overwatch. I'm not sure, but you're gonna see 5, 6 different maps playing this thing instead of just being on that one the whole time. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. So that I don't know. That sounds really interesting to me. We should check this out. That could be cool.
Mike, in your time with it, how heavy is like class comp or team comp factor into it?
It's still roll queue when you're doing this, so you still and it's still the 2 support, 2 damage, and the 1 tank, and you're allowed to pick which ones that you do. But like because you can augment things, like if you're playing healer, you could do a pretty damage based healer, and I think healer is actually relatively popular to play. Like you can do some weird stuff with Moira, where you're shooting out 2 of those balls. Like you're just going to shoot out both of them, the healing ball and the damage ball, every time that you do it. It's also a smaller hero pool in this mode. It's not just everybody. There's only certain heroes available at a time. I even kind of like that to kind of like, I jump in the main game now, and I've been gone forever. I'm like, who are all these people? Do we need this many characters? Right. What is even going on here anymore?
Yeah. Start putting some in a vault. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like I played it on my stream for fun, but I actually was playing it off stream. It's like, I have like half an hour to kill. I think I'll go play a round of Stadium now.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, I bought one of those GameCube controllers.
I'm trying to buy it right now. Yeah, I didn't know it was for sale.
I got one.
I'm in a line. I'm on a queue thing for Nintendo's store page.
Let's go.
Is it Wario 64's got the link, I assume? Yep, there it is.
Yeah. I'm good to go. Oh, baby.
Shit.
Probably going to be delivered while I'm at LA, but still, that's okay. Well. I'll take that.
Only a couple more games to chat about here. Jeff Grubb, Despelote.
Yeah, boy, this game is incredible. It is you play as a young boy in Ecuador, while the country and you are obsessed with soccer, and specifically the Ecuadorian national team that is trying to get into the World Cup for the first time ever, trying to qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever, and that's like the overarching narrative that is happening on top of you just being this young boy with with a family and the other things going on in your life, but you walk around in first person in this world that is like almost looks like real pictures that have then been run through a filter to make them sort of impressionist paintings.
Oh, wow.
Well, and that opening with the TV and the soccer game is like, it's crazy. Like that look, I've never seen anything quite like that.
Yes, and that like the whole thing has that vibe, and so like the important things to know are, so if it feels like you're living through someone else's memories, and the way it conveys that is all of the unimportant fuzzy information is that sort of impressionist painting. And then if something is interactable or important to the story, it'll be like this cutout drawing of them, or a cutout drawing of your toy or whatever, like a Zord from Power Rangers or something like that. And then you have a soccer ball that you can kick around in a lot of levels, or a balloon or something like that. But a lot of the interaction is kicking, and that's the right stick. You flick it back and you push it forward, and you can do a really huge kick. And the way the game works is it tells these days in this kid's life by bouncing from one Ecuadorian national team game to the next. And that stuff is kind of always happening either on the radio or on a TV while you're at a wedding. And some of the things the game does to convey what it's like to be 8 years old are astounding. Like you're at the wedding and you're kind of running around, and your sister's like, come on, let's go play. And then you like lose her for a little bit. You're like, where'd she go? And then you see something under the table. And so you go up to the table and you press the button to go under the table with her. And then you have the sort of what's it called? The tablecloth is hanging down off the side, so you're like in your own little cave. And the
Yeah.
sound outside gets a little bit more muffled, but you could still hear your parents talking distinctly, and they're talking about what's happening in the country and dollarization as the economy is dealing with stuff. And then the game starts, and the lady whose wedding it is like upset that they're bringing in a big TV while that's over there, and you and your sister are just under this table, like blocking out the world, and you're talking to each other about how nice it is to be under here because no one's telling you what to do or that you can't, or to go play or whatever. And you can kind of just shut things down, and it's like being transported. It is like living these kids' lives, and it's so easy to connect to because we've all had similar experiences growing up. That I couldn't be more impressed with this thing. It feels singular. It feels important. I always had the sense that people would be able to convey these sorts of like biographies through feeling, like making you feel the way I felt by putting you in a situation. I thought video games would be good at that. To see it executed this expertly, this exquisitely, has really been quite something. It's up there for one of my favorite things I've played in a long time. I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds real cool.
I don't know if it's going to be something like that will click for everybody, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who will be super open to it. And then it's like, kicking around a soccer ball feels really good. It kind of sticks to your position. Like, and if you like move it from the left to the right, your foot will just automatically sort of kick it in the direction you're going. So you kind of keep it in front of you, and that becomes really satisfying. And then sometimes it's like, you'll be, it jumps around in time a little bit. Sometimes you'll be an older kid at like a house party or whatever, kind of telling it that what it was like at that point in your life for a little bit. And maybe someone's mean to you, so you take the ball and you go, or you find the soccer ball and you start kicking around, and you'll start being like, oh, this feels good. I'll start just kicking it over towards this field. And then you sort of just, the party fades out, and then the whole world fades out, and then it goes back to another scene or something like that. It's just really well done.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited to check that out. I dig the style of it. Feels like I've seen this game advertised or floated around for forever now.
Yes, yeah, definitely, absolutely. I think Panic is publishing it. I think that's right.
That
yeah,
sounds
Panic,
right.
yep.
Yep.
And last game on the list here, Dan. A couple weeks ago, you traveled all the way to Japan to check out Death Stranding 2.
I did. I played 30 hours of Death Stranding 2.
Jeez.
That's the craziest preview event I've ever done. I will do it all again when the game comes out because it's very, very fun. I have a lot of thoughts about the game. If you want to see the full unabridged stuff, I wrote a big article on GameSpot.com about it. I was on the Kind of Funny Gamescast yesterday about it. So let me open it up here. Are there any burning questions from this crew about Death Stranding 2?
The baby, the gun.
The
Yeah,
babies,
baby gun. Yeah.
they're both in this one as well. You start.
Do they interact in any ways?
I don't want to spoil anything, but I did not see the baby get a gun.
Okay, all right.
Baby's got a gun.
I am you just told us so many crazy things that you didn't even understand when you were like conveying them to us. And so, yeah, I have a lot of questions, but I do, maybe you should start from the beginning. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know how I feel about Death Stranding 1, honestly. I want to try this one. The beginning of Death Stranding 1 was pretty slow.
Yes.
Okay.
This one pick up a little bit faster.
Yep, this one jumps right into it. That's one of the things that really like if this is how the first Death Stranding had felt at the beginning, I would have probably not been so immediately turned off of it, because it does just kind of drop you in. And the stuff that I think everyone can appreciate from Death Stranding 1, even if you don't love the game, is like the parts where the music kind of kicks in as you're cresting like over a hill and stuff like that. It kind of starts with that, where it's just, you're Sam, you got your baby there, Lou, and you're on just this mountainous area kind of on the border of Mexico and America. And it's just like, hey, get home with Lou. And so there's no big stakes here. You're not getting chased. It's just like, he's not even in the midst of any kind of like crazy situation. It's just like, I don't know, he was out in the mountains with his baby. You should go home.
As you do.
And it does this. There's this Woodkid track that plays, and there's like gate quakes that happen, which are like little earthquakes, and like you just see all the like environmental like boulders falling down, cascading all around you. And it's beautiful. I mean, the look of it, the soundtrack is incredible. And like, you are just walking from point A to point B, and that Kojima magic is just blasting you, and it just makes everything feel like super just cool and important. And it doesn't really let up on that. Like it doesn't bombard you with stuff at the beginning. Like, Mike, there were cutscenes at the beginning where it's like, okay, why is this fragile lady eating these bugs? Why are they crying? What is the chiral network? I don't know. Like if you've played the first one, or if you even watched a 20-minute recap of the basic concepts and things like that,
There's no 20-minute recap.
I watched the 20-minute recap while I was there to kind of refresh me. And as long as you just know the basic thing of okay, there has been this extinction level event and humanity is very disconnected right now. And in the first one, there were these porters that were, Sam was trying to connect basically this network. It's like Wi-Fi across America. And it starts out and Fragile's like, hey, there's a BT heading towards Dead Man's Lab across the border. Can you start spreading the chiral network down into Mexico? And that's kind of how it starts, is like, okay, well, shit, we connected America. Now let's connect Mexico. After 7 or 8 hours, Australia. I probably spent over 20 hours in Australia connecting that. And then, there are characters that pop up, like Higgs, Troy Baker's character from the first game, who, you presume dead. So there are larger story beats. I don't want to spoil or anything. And there are definitely some dramatic things that happen early on that are not just like, hey, we need to spread the chiral network. So, and if you were confused by any of it, which I understand, there is something called a corpus, which is like, I heard recent Final Fantasy had something like this, but I haven't played that. So avowed is my point of reference.
Sure.
Right. Proper noun or a location or something.
Glossary, yeah.
A glossary that you can pull up. Exactly. Yes. You pause and you say oh, right, that guy was in Fight Club. Yeah. No. So it's got that. So it's like, oh fuck, what is chiralium? Or fragile is like, oh, I've been suffering from jump shock from too many trips to the beach. And if you're like, wait, what does that mean? You can during a cutscene go into the corpus, and it's like a very, very in-depth glossary of terms, tutorial stuff. Because there's so many systems and things you can do too. It's got all of that handily available.
I like this trend of us getting glossaries, but
Yes.
I also do worry it feels like it's empowering Kojima to be even more into his bullshit than ever.
Let him keep doing it, because this is a lot better than the first game.
Okay. All right. That's good news.
Dollman is my favorite. The crew.
Tell me about Dollman.
Dollman? Okay. Dollman was a normal dude, human.
What?
Yeah, he was formerly a normal
He got
guy.
reverse Pinocchio'd?
Yeah, well, not quite that simple. No, his ka got separated from him and wound up in the ha of a puppet.
And that's what happened to H. John Benjamin's character in What How to American
right.
Summer.
Yeah. When he turns into the vegetables.
And the puppet would look older, but he maintains his youthful appearance because Rainey, the woman who's 7 months pregnant, the baby won't get past 7 months because she's like a still mother. She causes time fall rain all the way around her when she goes outside. That causes everything to age, but in a 1.5 meter radius around her, it's core fall rain, which makes things younger. So every once in a while, when she's taking a shower, Rainey will allow Dollman, the puppet, to take a shower with her, and the shower water turns into Corefall since it's so close to her, and then it makes the puppet look.
It's
younger.
just incredible you guys ever give Kingdom Hearts shit. It's just insane to me. The things you say about these games.
If Donald Duck waddled in, I'd be like, "This is ridiculous. I'm not playing this."
No, the Dollman's okay.
Dollman's cool.
Dollman's the most powerful wizard in Final Fantasy.
Dude, Dollman. Okay. So I always talk to him every time I go back to my private room. And at one point, he was like, oh, Sam, I see you got that music player. Ooh, you got this one track from, I forget the artist. Like, that's their best track. And out of curiosity, because this is a Kojima game, I'm like, what happens if I play this song for this puppet? And I started playing the song, and it triggered an entire J-pop dance sequence with 5 dollmen doing a synchronized super crazy dance. And one of the dollmen turns into what I assume is an actual J-pop singer, and it's a full thing. And if you pan the camera around, you see Norman Reedus watching the dollman J-pop dance, and he's like, yeah. I think they showed that at South by Southwest. If you look up dollman dance, Death Stranding, you'll probably see it.
All right.
It's just good. It's just filled with the goofiest shit, but it's so much fun.
Move over, Claire Obscure. Game of the year is here.
I mean, yeah.
So in Death Stranding 1, you kind of start off slow, like Mike was saying, and then eventually you get to a few chapters in and you're just connecting everything. That is still the connecting part is still the bulk of the gameplay, right? Or
you are going from outpost to prepper, and you are like, doing a delivery or two for them, and they're like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll let you bring us on the chiral network, and you put your USB drive in there, it floats, and they're on the chiral network. So that still happens, but like the in between stuff is like. That's where the kind of like Phantom Pain feel comes in because there are enemy outposts, and I just by default started playing this like I played Death Stranding 1, which is just avoiding every bandit camp and stuff because I just don't want a bunch of angry guys throwing lightning sticks at me, and like that was not enjoyable in the first game. And I know eventually you could get non-lethal weapons and stuff in the first game, but in this one, everything's non-lethal. So it's like you're getting like a trank sniper rifle, you're getting assault rifles that just feel like you're shooting an assault rifle, but they're technically rubber bullets. But I mean, it feels like you're storming these outposts and stuff like it's Phantom Pain. Like you're building a watchtower, you're tagging everyone. You can take Dollman and throw him over a camp, and he floats in the air like a drone, and you see through Dollman's eyes, and you tag guys, and then you can suck Dollman back to you, and he's like once praised, like, "Oh, Sam, did I do a good job?" Then it's like, "Yeah, Dollman, but you did great."
You know what? That's not weird enough. Okay. I'm not joking. Like I've been watching anime now, and that's just not weird enough. Sure. It's just not weird enough. Do better.
Man,
I was laughing out loud at points. There was one part where it's like, I saw some people compare it to Mimir, like a dude that hangs off your belt and talks, but Mimir sucks and just spoils puzzles for you. Dollman is just hilarious and fun and useful. And as I was walking towards this like river, Dollman was trying to explain to me because there's a new system where if it rains, river levels will rise and stuff and make it harder to kind of go across.
Oh, that's cool.
He's attached to my belt and he's trying to warn me about like this. And as I'm approaching the river, he's like, "Hey Sam, the rivers when they rise and stuff." But I didn't realize as I was going into the river, the second he went underwater, he's like, "Hey Sam, so the rivers are," he just starts drowning.
That's pretty good.
And I was like, "Oh shit, they thought about that," and I got out. He's like, "Oh God,
you
Sam,
see?
yeah,
okay.
You got Mikey.
You got me."
It's really, really
Put him
good.
on your shoulder. What's the problem?
Yeah. He's so much fun.
You think I'm gonna be? Because I do want to play this. I'm not gonna go back to Death Stranding 1. I just don't really have time. You think I'm gonna be fine just watching a video?
will
Let's
be
do
fine.
that and ask questions. Look, we do a podcast together all the time. Ask me about the story. Like I do think I've come to a point where I get the big beats of Death Stranding story.
Okay.
But it's better told in this one. I compared it in my article to like, this is more like the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development where it's this ensemble cast and they actually talk to each other. Whereas the first game was more like, just 2 characters at a time, it seemed like. Okay, I'm talking to Heartman in his lab. Okay, now Fragile visits me in the private room. This one, you're like on a crew. You're basically on a flying metal. Well, it's not flying. It can ride the tar currents, so it can go down into, because, okay, so Tarman, who looks like George Miller, the Mad Max director, it's just his likeness, not his voice. He's missing a hand, which you'll learn why in a flashback. And so he can kind of put his hand in the pilot's hole of the Metal Gear head. It's called the DHV Magellan, but it's just a Metal Gear Rex. And so his hand is technically in the tar current, so his hand is kind of on the beach because his hand is dead. So, but in the tar, you can like talk to his beach hand, this, right? You're following? And then, so he can navigate the DHV Magellan through the tar currents, so it can like go down and underground through the tar, or it can fly around.
And that's why it's okay for me to just play this game without playing the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't talk about this shit.
He just explained it all to you. You're good.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Mikey, maybe you don't need to ask questions.
No, they're bad.
Dan, I think you should do a video where you're forced to recap the story of Death Stranding 1.
I could try. I could
Give him
try.
a
Well, the
timeline.
first
You
one, I
recap
don't.
that to me, and I'll recap Kingdom Hearts to you.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Then the 3 of us will grade it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which was more coherent.
Yeah.
I like
all
it a
right.
lot. It felt great. I will play another 30 hours of this immediately, and then everything about it. They said that was 30 to 40% of the game was my 30
Okay.
hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
How much more walking can Sam do? All right. Well, that does it for the first segment of the podcast. That's going to do it for Game Talk. We're going to take a quick bricky break. You're going to hear from a sponsor, and then Jeff Grubb will be back with the news right after this.
This episode of Giant Bomb is brought to you by Kind of Funny. When we said we were going independent, Kind of Funny was the first group in our inbox because they believe in and want to support independent media, because that's what they are. For more than a decade, Kind of Funny's been making YouTube videos and podcasts about video game reviews, previews, and news. but they also review and rank Marvel movies, Alien vs. Predator movies, and just about every other film franchise you can think of. Kinda Funny is an independent 11-person talk show network that's live Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The day starts with Kinda Funny Games Daily, leading into the Kinda Funny Games Cast, usually giving you a rotating podcast like their weekly The Last of Us and Andor spoiler cast. And then later, they stream a game. If you like Giant Bomb, chances are there's a Kinda Funny show that you'll like as well. Check out their full slate of programming on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, and podcast services around the globe. Then subscribe on whatever platform works best for you. Just like Giant Bomb, Kinda Funny only exists because of support from their audience, so give them a chance whether it's your first listen or your first time in 10 years.
Okay.
I think I muted everyone. Hold on. No, we're good. It's fine. Welcome back. We're back.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. This is the Giant Bombcast, episode 890. And speaking about joining, giantbomb.com/join, best way to support us moving forward. And I need support because I don't know what's next. Oh, it is the news.
Oh my God, I forgot about this music.
Jeff Graf.
I'm here, yeah. You mentioned giantbomb.com/join. People might have heard an ad. If you don't want ads, go to giantbomb.com/join and you get ad-free versions of all our shows. So there you go. There's the first bit of news. Second bit here: Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra has been delayed. Show of hands: who knew or thought Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra was going to come out this year?
Me.
What is it? I don't even know if I know what the fuck
Just
it
my
is.
hand.
This is the aiming headache one.
It is kind of World War II era a game that has Captain America and a Black Panther, one of the Black Panthers, and they're like the lineage of Black Panther kings.
So are they like killing Hitler in this? Like what's happening?
They might, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna make a video game set during World War II, I think you would want to go that route.
I hope so.
You know, they'll probably have a more Marvel, maybe Red Skull or something like that.
Yeah, he was always mixed up with them, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, definitely.
Nazis? Yeah, Red
Yeah.
Skull is a Nazi.
Red
He was
Skull just straight-
he's a straight up Nazi,
He
right?
is a Nazi. Yeah, he's one of them.
He's like he's from the SS, well, at least in the movie. I don't know some of the stuff I read. Was a member of like the SS's like super secret science division or whatever, something like
Right,
that.
right.
So.
He's Red Skull because they tried to do their own super soldier serum.
Well, why are we explaining it? Dan's an expert. Go ahead, Dan. Explain all of the lore of Captain America and Black Panther.
He's Captain America is a time traveler who's very strong because they gave him the Joker venom, and he has a boomerang shield. And he hates Nazis.
Yes.
And Black Panther is like an Atlantis situation. There's like
Kinda.
I think it's like a Dr. Robotnik sky fortress that rose from the water like Atlantis.
Not the water.
Are you
And
talking
that's-
about the same thing?
That's Wakanda.
That's
and
Wakanda.
They charge up. They charge up their. It's like a Power Ranger thing. They. I don't.
That's 100% correct,
Yeah.
Dan. Right
Man,
here. Thank you all very
If
much.
only they
People
were
enjoy it
taking
quite a bit.
showers with each other, he'd remember.
Taking showers with each other. What?
I don't.
Is that you just
Starship
explained? That's what they
Troopers?
do in Death Stranding too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I
10
heard showers
minutes
together.
ago.
I heard showers together. I thought of Starship
Mike,
Troopers.
Mikey, if you're
Well,
gonna
it's like that didn't stick with anybody else. The whole
Yes.
puppet taking a shower with the magic, always 7 months pregnant girl. I'm the only one that made an impact on.
he's got very selective memory of what he wants to remember, right? So that's what he does not want to remember. It's it.
I remember
Easy
that Starship
peasy.
Troopers scene.
All right. So that's Amy Hennig's game. And
Yeah, I never
it's
thought
not-
that was coming out. That did not sound like a game that was coming out this year. We haven't heard anything about that. Really, we got that trailer, and that seems like it was forever ago. We have not heard much about it since.
Yeah, so you're right. You're right. We still don't know a lot. It is developed in Unreal Engine 5. They're using stuff like the Epic tools, like Meta Human, that make it easier for them to create cool 3D characters or whatever. But that's all stuff that we heard because I think this game had a relationship with Epic to like show off Unreal Engine, like it was in like one of those Unreal Engine demonstrations. So that's all we've had. It was first revealed in 2022. I expect. They will just for this one, you know, like when Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed, right? It was like, okay, I wasn't too surprised that we got a trailer because that's a massive, massive company that probably did have an asset ready to go in case that game was going to come out. Here, I bet this one actually does go radio silent until next year when they are much closer to actually releasing it.
I mean, I don't think this game's not coming out, but it is a concern with this more so than a Grand Theft Auto 6, where that game's going to happen eventually. But, you know, Amy Hennig has had a lot of false starts recently. Just the idea of just making a Marvel game and it immediately being a hit, that's not really the case anymore at all. So I hope that we do still see this game. I hope development is going smoothly and that this is a normal delay.
Do you all know who the publisher of this game is?
No.
No.
EA?
No.
Oh.
It is Skydance Interactive.
Oh,
That's the Mission Impossible place, right?
Yeah, they're related. Yes, exactly. So the interactive side. So, you know, they're probably not working hand in hand with Tom, but I don't know. I just don't know what else they've done. All right. I guess I'll click this button here on Google where I double check to make sure that was the case. And games. All right, here's the games tab. Let's see if there's anything recognizable. I'm guessing they're not going to have anything the size of a Marvel 1943. Okay, that's right. Behemoth, the Skydance's Behemoth, was that the one that they're doing with the team Mercury? What's your Mercury Steam?
Retrograde.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of something else then. Yeah. They did Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Archangel, Retribution, another Walking Dead game. So stuff like that. Okay. Either way, to me, when I hear that, that makes me think also, Mike, that there's a slightly higher chance we never see this game because it's a publisher that maybe didn't know what they were getting into with let's make Amy Hennig's next big game. Let's make it a Marvel game. There's just a lot of facets there.
Right. I mean, those games were hard to make back when, you know, her games were actually coming out, and so much has changed since then in terms of being able to make one of these with, you know, the kind of vision that she has, and she does great stuff, but that's difficult, especially when you don't have a Sony or a 2K behind you.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll see. I do hope that she's able to get this game out. because it's been a long go of it since their last game, and a lot of people looking forward to that one. All right, next up, a rumor, a leak suggests why maybe so many of the Switch 2 launch games are game key cards. As a reminder, game key cards are the version of the game cards that will show up at retail that if you were to order the physical version of a game, you might get it and might have a big white label on the bottom that says there is no actual game on this game key card. Instead, it is going to just download it to your system, but you will use the game key card to access the game. So what that does is it enables you to resell the game, although I imagine it's not going to have a ton of collector value for people who collect physical games. Either way, a lot of games are using this at launch. In fact, there's only a couple of standouts. Like Cyberpunk is getting a lot of cred from fans right now because that game is going to be entirely on the card. Most other ones are not, and this rumor says the reason for that is mostly because of what Nintendo offered up. You could either go digital, which would have been like a code in a box. You could have a game key card or a 64 gigabyte card, which is prohibitively expensive for most developers. Unless you absolutely need 64 gigabytes, you would have to pay. You don't need that much size, and those cards are super expensive compared to like the Switch, which had 8 and 16 gigabytes as options for cards, and those were much more affordable. Now, that will probably change here pretty quick. This sounds like something that's just happening because Nintendo's getting things up and running, but that seems to be the case here.
So hang on. So they announced at a recent direct that like that keys. Did they call it key cards? That system where it's like, oh, I could lend you this game.
That's virtual game. That virtual game cards.
That's virtual game cards. So these game key cards are physical. They look like the card. They go in. They actually go into the system.
Yes.
And then you could resell it. And like without the card, you wouldn't have access to the game anymore. So you could resell it.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, isn't that kind of like how? Like PS4 even games and PS5 games?
There are a lot of games on both Xbox and PlayStation that have discs that basically behave exactly like a game key card.
Yeah,
yes,
it triggers a download. You have to like still download the whole game and have it in the system to play it, right?
Yes, it's not it's not a maybe codified system or as hard codified as it is here. But really people's issue is every single game for the most part, with a few exceptions, are going this route. And there's a lot of people who have really enjoyed buying physical on Switch, and they built up a massive collection, and they sort of want to keep that going. But then they see that big white label that says this isn't going to work in 20 years when you want to actually play this thing again, and they balk at that. Now, some like limited run games, which has its issues for sure, but they have said that whenever they put out one of their numbered games, which is, I guess they have like a numbering system, kind of like Criterion Collection did for a while. I don't know if they still do. But when they put out one of their numbered games, those will always have the game entirely on the card, although they have put out one so far that is going to be a game key card. So, yeah, I think this is a problem for now until Nintendo gives developers and publishers more options for 8 and 16 gigabyte sized cards. But that's probably a little bit of a ways off for now. Tekken director is trying to bring the game to Waffle House, but to no avail. Yes, Tekken boss Katsuhiro Harada says he's attempting to collaborate with Waffle House, but he's been unsuccessful. He's trying to set a stage at Waffle House because at one point on social media, whenever he's like talking about levels that people are, where he's like, hey, what do people want to see in the game?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, we want to have a fight at Waffle House. He said, why does everyone keep making this joke? And everyone explained it to him, which was a lot of fun to watch online. And so since then, he's been really in on this idea, and he wants to make a Waffle House level. Waffle House apparently has not returned his calls.
What is wrong with them?
Come on.
Buddy, how much time do you have?
Ooh, let's race Harada. Let's race Harada to like a Waffle House like deal.
Okay. What happens first? Does he get Waffle House or do I get Arby's?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's the race. Yeah.
Now, it is, to be fair, like, it would be weird if I was like on Blue Sky and saw a Waffle House social media account. Like, I don't want that company to be online. I just want to go to Waffle House when I need Waffle House.
That's fine, but what does that have to do with anything?
Of course, they're hard to reach.
With them.
They're hard to get in contact with.
They have a corporate contact. I'm sure there's PR
developers.
people.
There's always a way. There's always a way.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to have some kind of professional facing like way to get in touch with them. Come on.
Do they not realize how? Well, I guess we don't know if they've been contacted, if they're even aware of this, because somebody has to understand a game as popular as Tekken, the amount of marketing they would get.
Yeah,
it would
corporations. corporations can sometimes be weird, and the people in charge could be like, well, that's not very good for our brand to have people fighting outside a Waffle House. What are you
not like it
talking
happens
about?
every single day on the planet, and every video online that you ever post from our restaurants include that and only that.
Waffle House is also good. It's
I like
good
Waffle
to
House,
eat.
yeah.
I've never been. I want to go so
I've
bad.
never been. The closest one is probably 1,000 miles away from
It's very
here.
Midwest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I definitely prefer Waffle House to like IHOP or any of the other ones.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could easily believe that.
You know what I went to for the first time on my when I drove down to Florida with my pop was a Bucky's. Bucky's.
Oh,
You hear
you
about this?
I didn't realize
Well, you
you
mean-
drove.
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
Disney.
wait, what?
Wait, yeah. Bucky's, right?
Bucky's. I keep doing the N. The N is
No,
not
no.
there.
Buc-ee's,
Get the N
yeah.
out.
What in? What did he say?
He
Bucky's.
said Buckneys.
It's Bucky's.
Okay.
There's an.
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
Bucky's
wait, wait.
with that
Say
gopher.
it one more time, Mike.
Bucky's.
No, how you said it before.
Buckneys.
Nuts.
Ah, you got me.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
So
I
you-
did get their nuts, actually. They're very good.
I bet they are. You drove to Disney from where you live?
My dad wanted to drive down there, and he bribed me into going with him by, we're going to get
With
there
Buc-ee's?
early. Then I flew back with my brother's family. So that was
But did
interesting.
he force you to have the CPAP in the back?
No, he was going to do that for a while. He insisted that it was a normal thing to require from me. I think it was only when we were in the car he realized how ridiculous his request was. I got no strips. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna snore that much, and I didn't. It was fine.
You just drive me to Disney and I'll sleep for 15
I
hours.
was
Thank you.
the ultimate passenger princess. Absolutely.
I'll
My
just-
stepmom was there too. It's not like I just completely left him out to dry. But yeah,
I could see you with like an eye mask on and your CPAP machine just sleeping in the back and be like, well, wake me when we get to Bucky's, thanks.
In Ohio for SummerSlam, he always just sat in the back and we just set him up with some Bluey and he would fall asleep.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
right.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Yeah, it
Easy
made
to
me happy.
please.
Yeah, Bucky's is pretty good though. I had a chopped brisket sandwich there. I don't know if you have all been. It's
Never been.
It's been hyped up insane, and still I was very impressed with what was going on in there. It's a whole situation at Bucky's.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's a whole
seems like
thing.
a cult almost.
Like,
yeah.
I was going on about Loves because we got a Loves here, and that's great. But Bucky's, it's like a town. It's like
It's more than that. It's a town.
It's a
a
town. It's a
community, yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're here, your family.
Yep.
I want to go. Like, how far did you guys drive before you started seeing
We
it?
were in like Florida, so
Okay, yeah.
I think
Damn.
we are getting one somewhere in Ohio, maybe by Columbus. I don't know.
That's
That
why
sounds
the
right.
only people I see tweeting about Bucky's are wrestlers. That makes
Yes.
sense.
It's wrestlers and theme park people who I think have
Okay,
discovered
which
Bucky's
is that Venn
first.
diagram's a circle.
Yep.
So
All right. Stellar Blade is coming to PC in June with a ton of new outfits. Of course, there was a leaked trailer. I think PlayStation accidentally leaked it. But yeah, June 11th. I played a little bit of this game, thought it was pretty okay, and I definitely was like, I'll play it when it comes to PC, and now we're almost there. Did any of you spend any time with Stellar Blade?
I played
I
a
liked it.
bit. Yeah,
5
it
or
was-
6 hours. Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's
And-
fun.
and
It was
there's a
it was hard to not kind of let
Sure.
the outside stuff sort of
What outside
intrude on
stuff?
my
Yeah,
mind
what
space
do you
while
mean?
playing it.
What do you mean?
Oh, the Gooners.
Oh, right. That's why I also read the headline. I was like, outfits. Come on, they're not really wearing a lot in this.
No.
I think there is a tangible desire for this that I think has like manifested, helped manifest this PC situation, right? Like there has been, I've gotten that, I've extracted that from, I don't know, I guess the Gooners, right? But like they wanted this on PC, probably because they want to be naughty, but they want it on
What?
PC.
How do they do
Yeah.
that?
I don't
They should
know.
take-
I'm not a hacker.
They should take every outfit from Stellar Blade and put them 1-to-1 in Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
new partnership. That's
Right.
definitely happening.
Switch 2's price may pose challenges for first-year sales, says Furukawa. That's Nintendo's president. Basically, they had a chance to talk to investors and kind of explain things a little bit. And they are setting their expectations for the first fiscal year at 15 million Switch 2s sold to consumers. And people are like, that's really high still, but pretty modest compared to the way Nintendo's been talking and some other things. And Nintendo's like, yeah, we're going to be a little conservative because we admit the price is maybe even a little bit higher than we wanted. In so many words, he said that. But like, we acknowledge that the high price is going to be a hurdle for some. So we're setting our expectations at 15 million. They are likely to get past that. This thing's probably going to be closer to like 20 million. But I don't know. I don't know about you all, but I do feel like we have actually moved past the price conversation with the Switch 2. It was a big thing those first couple of days, and then the tariffs came immediately after, and that definitely distracted. But now I think people have just accepted this is the price, even if you don't like it, and a lot of people are paying.
Well, a lot of people were worried that the price was going to get even higher there, right?
Exactly,
so It almost makes this initial price look a little bit better. And, we do have Xbox actually raising the price of an Xbox Series X. Like, that thing is $600 now, right?
2 terabyte one, 2
When did that
terabyte one
happen?
is like last week. We'll catch you up on voicemail.
You were
dump
busy.
Thank you.
Back left.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right. So, yes.
Holy
The-
shit.
The 2 terabyte one, that's not like a Xbox Pro or anything like that. It's just an Xbox Series X, but with 2 terabytes, and it's got like a design on it. Is $730.
What?
It's fine, Backlar, because
Yep.
every other item you own in your house is an Xbox already.
I mean, I only play Xbox games on my PC, folks. Like,
I
that's
think
it.
a lot of people are going to be doing that.
What are we
Yeah.
doing? Also, I mean, haven't we gotten a good indication that like people are fucking belligerently like pre-ordering this thing into oblivion? Like,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yes, they are. It also seems like Nintendo does have way more than what is normal for a launch. Seems like they are able to serve that massive demand to a point that is pretty impressive. So I think this thing's going to have an enormous start here. I think they're just what they're looking at is, will the demand be as fever pitched as it has been for past consoles, as people like who are sitting on the sidelines get in later, and will that price scare off those people? Because the nerds we're talking about now, us who are just going to rush and get this thing, the
it's
price.
it's the hangover. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to go. We'll brute force our way through whatever price they kind of put in front of us up to a point. But obviously, this was not that point.
And again, I will rely on my busyness in the last month or so. What have they talked about the price of like the upgrade for like a Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, so it's kind of different depending on stuff like that. I think Tears of the Kingdom is and Breath of the Wild are $10, but you get them if you're a subscriber to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
And then it's like the Kirby game and Mario Party. Those upgrades are also coming with expansions, like new content. So those are $20.
Right.
Is it gonna be fucking annoying with like Dib playing the original? Because the first thing he said was, "I get the original, right?" And I'm like, man.
So what's your concern there? Because there are some developments there as well. What's your concern?
Good. So thank you. I'm worried that like we both can't play the same game that we sort of own.
So they did just introduce that virtual game card system. So if you are a family and people are in your family,
I'm a family.
You could share a virtual game card with someone else, and they can just have it for 2 weeks, and then it automatically at that point reverts back to you. But it basically, think of your virtual, digital games now as working exactly like a game card. So you can lend it to him, or if you're like you have a share account that if you have a family account, there's some extra sharing stuff there. But you can't play the same game at the same time anymore. That's if it's digital, at least.
Everything's digital.
Yeah,
Sure is.
all right. Yeah, Switch 2 coming out soon. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, it really is all I can think think about. I'm like, God,
Really?
But Switch 2 coming out?
I'm very excited.
But,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited too. But like, it's just Mario Kart right
No.
now.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh,
Then
Jeff.
Donkey
Mario Kart
Kong
looks
is
so good.
so soon after
I'm excited
it.
for Donkey Kong. That's July,
Also,
right?
just Mario Kart. It's
Just Mario Kart's enough. And don't forget about the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
Yeah, $10
Right.
for a welcome tour.
Right.
Yeah.
They're charging for a tutorial. I understand.
And F-Zero GX. Which
Oh,
I can
Dan and
play
I are going to
15
play
different
Calibur.
ways.
so much Soul Calibur 2. It's not
Yes.
going to even be funny.
Yes.
Gosh.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, was that meant to like excite me or
No,
was that
just
the
to-
Soul
Soul
Calibur
Calibur
2 should excite you. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Two
Mario Kart
racing
doesn't do
games.
it for you. Soul Calibur doesn't do it for you.
No,
And I am just going to replay Breath of the Wild in 60
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna replay. I want to play. I want to replay Tears of the Kingdom. I want to
For sure.
really do that. That's what I'm excited for, and that's gonna be my biggest time suck. I'll play Mario Kart's great. I'm into it. I like the thing they're doing there. But yeah, I think after Donkey Kong, maybe things are drying up a little bit.
Well, we don't know when Metroid's coming out, and will be this year for sure. Nobody's
and they'll
worried
have
about
big
that.
holiday. Maybe we'll have a Mario or something.
Yeah, and I did that open world Pokemon Legends series has been winning over recently.
So again, I'm not understating how excited I am. The time period is not. It's not all just in 3 weeks.
So even when I'm even beyond that though, when I was talking about being excited, that's all I could think about. I kind of do just want an upgraded Switch hardware that feels nice to hold because my Switch is getting rickety. Like that's just the reality. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Horizon 3, as in Sony's Guerrilla Games' Horizon series, could come out in 2027. Like. Obviously, they're going to be working on a new one of these, right? This is the most recent rumor. Guerrilla's also apparently working with someone else on a Horizon MMO. That's been rumored before. And a multiplayer title that is anticipated before Horizon 3. So they got a lot going on over there. But they still seem like all in on Horizon.
That's surprising to me.
I don't know if it excites me. I don't know what it does for me if it does.
Do we know Horizon people?
Sean is a Horizon person.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
but that's my point, right? Just that on a scientific poll, that's a small
Somebody's got to be buying these games.
I think they're pretty good games.
They're good. Pac-Man too, and that seemed to work well. This
seems soon though. Forbidden West came out in 2022. 5 years is a very fast turnaround for these games and what they are now, right?
I feel like they got all the tools for these games now, right?
Yeah, and this is the development team is the team that makes the engine here, the Decima engine, right? So they should be the ones that are kind of masters of that. And even Kojima working with the Decima engine for Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2, he's been able to do stuff relatively quickly from the outside. Not being Guerrilla. So I don't know, 5 years for me sounds like, especially for the third game in a series where the changes don't necessarily need to be ground shaking. They can kind of just continue to build on what they've already done. I don't know, that sounds right to me.
Well,
although
I wouldn't be surprised
if it gets delayed.
Yeah, it was 5 between the first one and the second one. I guess part of it is what's the scope here? Do they feel a need to once again make it bigger? Because 2 has to be big enough for just about everybody, right? We need more. Yes. We need new. We don't necessarily need bigger.
So I guess that means that Half-Life 3 will come out the day after.
Probably.
Yes, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? The first one was Zelda Breath of the Wild. The second one was
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yep.
Gosh.
Yep.
Incredible. Yet they still do very, very well. There's still tons of people who like these games. They have. It's almost become. It's more flagship for PlayStation than anything Naughty Dog these days, just because it takes so long for them to make a game now, and they just keep re-releasing Last of Us.
Astrobot should be their guy.
It should be, and I love Astrobot, and Astrobot does do well, but it doesn't sell as well as these Horizon games.
Yeah, they're not pushing Astrobot.
They should sell as well.
We'll get another Astrobot, though. I'm not worried about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk himself wants an Underground remaster after 3 and 4.
Of course he does. He sees value.
Yep.
He gets it.
He says he'll try to campaign, but he did say, of course, that it's up to Activision. I mean, what do we think the chances are of an Underground after 3 and 4?
100%.
I think so.
We didn't think 3 and 4 was going to happen, and they did. So, I could see it. Assuming everyone should buy 3 and 4. Keep these coming.
Okay, then what does Underground need to do? Because 3 and 4, they're kind of adapting for to be more like 3 or 1, 2, and 3 to make that make sense. For Underground, they probably wouldn't be able to do that. They're going to have to sort of change up the foundational structure of how the game works mechanics wise. What do they need to do to sort of get
It needs to be more one-to-one, because people do want that campaign with the NPCs. The story with Eric Sparrow was very important here. So I think you do a one-to-one there. If you put Thug 2 in with it, that's where it gets a little weirder, because that game was so tied to Jackass, right? As a
that
brand,
was too much for me at that time. I was like, I don't want this much Jackass in my Tony Hawk game. It was a lot even for back then.
So what do you do now? Do you just
maybe just do one?
Just do one, yeah.
You think you just do one?
I think you go straight to Project 8. is what you
Oh,
do.
baby.
Project 8's pretty good.
Project 8 rules.
Yeah,
I
it
hated
does.
Project 8.
Really? Why? Because you
Oh.
thought it was too awesome? Like what? Like it was too
Yeah.
cool? Like,
Maybe,
what do you
maybe I was
mean?
drinking the skate Kool-Aid at that point.
Oh, the Skaterade.
I mean, that game really had such a satisfying new look at doing the tricks in slow motion. I think that was the biggest game changer for what they were doing.
They should do. I think you got a lot of nostalgia juice for Thug 1. Remake that and then do something new. If we're gonna do more Tony Hawk, then we probably don't need to worry too much more about the remakes and remasters at that point. American Wasteland, that's all fine and dandy. If they wanted to, sure, I would check it out. But the super nostalgia probably ends with Thug 1. You can maybe get away with Thug 2 if you can figure that out. It's a little bit more complicated again, but at least Thug 1.
I think there's, I forgot who said it here, but there's too much Jackass in Thug 2. That if it was already a process to get Bam back onto the roster, who knows what it's like to get the rest of those dudes on.
Just replace Jackass with the cast of a modern TV show. What would be a
Us.
funny one?
Okay,
it's just us.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
All right, I'm Steve-O.
Succession.
I'm
The Succession family.
Man, you guys are pros. You know this? You guys, I had to zone out, and you guys talked the entire time while I got my GameCube controller. So there we go.
Good job.
I'm still in line. I'm going to zone out once mine happens.
Back in action. You should click in and place any second now.
Okay,
So
all right.
You went to the site not too long after
All
me.
right, back to the news.
Capcom reports 8th consecutive year of record profits as Monster Hunter Wilds sells 10.1 million copies. That's really fast. They kind of rushed to 10 million copies. Let's see some of the other games they have listed here. Monster Hunter World eventually got to 28.5 million copies sold. That's nuts. Rise is 17.18, and then Resident Evil 4 Remake is 9.92. So it's already outsold the best-selling Resident Evil game ever.
And World and Rise, they would kind of get second lives
selling,
when the PC versions would come out for those, right? Because those were later. This time you had the PC right away. But they could do a Switch 2 version, and that'll be another big boost for Wild. And I bet that will absolutely happen. This game will continue to sell well for a while.
Right. And the big part of that number for World has got to be when they introduced, what was it, Sunbreak?
Iceborne for that one. And then
Right.
Sunbreaker or something for Rise.
Right.
There'll
So
be the big expansion at some point.
Exactly. In the old days of Monster Hunter, they would have a whole new game that was basically an expansion, but they introduced it as a new game, sort of like Pokemon used to do the third games. Now they do DLC, and that helps them sell even more because they package those up again, basically as a new package. But some people buy it that way. All right, this is the most important story of the day. Krispy Kreme and Bandai Namco announce a Pac-Man donuts.
Good.
If you like fluffies.
These look amazing.
Yes, they look so good, right? I'm gonna have to try to find a Krispy Kreme around me.
Those look awesome. Holy shit.
Right? Don't they just look appetizing as hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're a bunch of they have a donut that looks like one of the fruit, like the cherry or whatever.
Oh my god, it's
Pac-Man.
it's art. This is art.
Man, I want a donut so bad. I love donuts. God, donuts are good.
The campaign is only available in the United States, so once again, another win for the hegemonic powers of the United States. You guys are in the France and UK are both.
Yeah, this is winning. Let me tell you.
Yep, this is what it looks like, everybody. Enjoy your free health care. God.
Yeah.
Only too many of these, though.
We'll eat this.
Yeah. I'm going to try to track one of these down. We'll see if I can get one.
I live very close to one. I'll try and track it down as well.
Does yours have the sign that
Conveyor
turns
belt?
on? Yeah.
Yeah. It has a hot, fresh, and ready one.
Yeah.
I have so
The
much.
fucked up thing, though, is sorry, Mike. The fucked up thing, though, is that by me, it's a Krispy Kreme in the same plaza as an In-N-Out burger, and it's down the hill from a hospital.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really
or
weird.
attached to a city MD, walk-in urgent center or something.
Oh, the DMV's across the street, actually.
Great.
I have so much guilt and regret with Krispy Kreme as a brand. Cause,
Go on. What?
Well,
What did they do to you?
Because they had one. My brother went to school in Pittsburgh. We would visit him a lot because he was like the first one to go to college. So my parents went to visit him almost every weekend, and we had to go. There's a Krispy Kreme on the way there, and that was a very special treat. And we went almost every time to the Krispy Kreme, and it was awesome. We loved it. And then, like a few years later, they opened one just in our town, and we went to that one like one time and never again because it wasn't special anymore, and it closed down 2 years later. And I always feel kind of responsible for that.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's your
for
fault.
sure.
I've gone to the Krispy Kreme website, specifically the Find a Shop feature.
Okay.
And they have a feature on the site that allows you to filter by the Hot Now sign.
Oh, baby.
What?
They know they're working with.
wait,
What is the gimmick with this?
It's
you don't know about
gimmick.
this?
It's
No.
the truth. Apparently, a Hot Now sign indicates that the welcoming glow of the Krispy Kreme hot light means our donuts are piping ready and deliciously divine right now. There's no better time to enjoy them. That means they're fresh out the oven.
You get them off the conveyor belt, was what you do. And if you go there when they're fresh, sometimes they'll just give you one.
Wow. And
Right off the belt, it's
the
so
people that make the
good.
donuts, they once they're done making the donuts, as soon as they come on the oven, they flip on a switch that turns on a sign outside that says, "We just got done making fresh donuts. You should come eat this shit."
I guess that's kind of fucking awesome, but also like fucked up at the same time.
sure,
like, can things be awesome and fucked up at the same time?
Yeah,
I
look at
think
us.
most of our society.
Okay.
I have to go to
that tracks.
Milwaukee or Des Moines if I want to get Krispy Kreme.
My nearest one's 17 miles away. Damn it.
Yeah, mine's like just out of reach where it's crazy.
I'm gonna
You
go
know?
there
It's
after
mine
work.
now.
There's no
Fuck
chance
y'all.
that like the Pac-Man donut's gonna show up at the play, like when you go to a 7-Eleven and they have the Krispy Kreme like doors.
I don't think so.
I think you're right. I agree. All right.
Damn it, I
get
gotta
your
go
hopes
to
up.
Akron now for this thing. Damn it. I had it all and I threw it away.
That's how it goes, man.
Ooh, cinnamon roll donut? The fuck is that?
That's just good.
It's mostly a cinnamon roll because cinnamon rolls are donut adjacent, right? Kind
Hey.
of already.
Do you guys like have easy access to cronuts?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, a very
Dude,
local
is
bakery
there-
makes them. They're great.
Is there a cronut like the generic cronut?
I think
Not-
so. Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
name
because I
brand
feel like
cronut.
there was a place in Brooklyn that tried to like own that.
Sure. No. Just generic
yeah.
croissant mixed with a donut.
There's plenty of fancy bakeries where I am, and they'll give you a cronut, no problem.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try.
They're great. Oh,
Yeah.
they're so good.
Yeah. First time I ever had one, Mike, was that GamesBeat trip to LA to that resort that we had.
Right.
They had a
the
bakery
fancy
there
one
was making them.
Where we lost all that money because it was too fancy, but it was a great time.
It was a good time.
I'll find you a bakery in LA, Grub.
Hell yes, that would rule. All right, last story here. Shifting gears, Microsoft announces plans to lay off like thousands of more workers. It says here, 3% of staff is the plan, and that would be around 7,000 people. There's not a lot of details beyond that about how it's going to affect individual individual brands under Microsoft. Like, is this going to affect Xbox more than anyone else? Not a lot of information out there about that when I was looking into this. Of course, Xbox has already had a bunch of layoffs. They were let go of like 2,000 people last January, something like that. So they continue to shrink. These companies really built up a lot over the pandemic, and they hired like crazy. And it seems like they are trying to cut back from that. Now, at the same time, a lot of companies are holding on to employees because they're unsure of the future. But then it's either that or we hear news like this, and Microsoft doesn't seem to be pulling out of that tailspin anytime soon. All right, that does it for the headlines. I'm handing this show back over to you, Janet Choa.
Oofa doofa. Well, we're going to go take a quick Ricky break, and we will be back with emails right after this.
This episode of Giant Bomb is brought to you by Kind of Funny. When we said we were going independent, Kind of Funny was the first group in our inbox because they believe in and want to support independent media, because that's what they are. For more than a decade, Kind of Funny's been making YouTube videos and podcasts about video game reviews, previews, and news, but they also review and rank Marvel movies, Alien vs. Predator movies, and just about every other film franchise you can think of. Kind of Funny is an independent, 11-person talk show network that's live Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The day starts with Kind of Funny Games Daily, leading into the Kind of Funny Gamescast, usually giving you a rotating podcast like their weekly The Last of Us and/or Spoiler Cast. And then later, they stream a game. If you like Giant Bomb, chances are there's a Kind of Funny show that you'll like as well. Check out their full slate of programming on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, and podcast services around the globe. Then subscribe on whatever platform works best for you. Just like Giant Bomb, Kinda Funny only exists because of support from their audience, so give them a chance whether it's your first listen or your first time in 10 years.
These are the emails for the show. Emails. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to normally. However, I don't have access to that email box right now. So Lord knows where emails are going. They're going to someone right now. Someone may be reading them. And I appreciate every single one of them. I'm not going to stop you from sending them in. So continue to send them in and they'll go to someone. Bombcast at giantbomb.com. In the meantime, though, I've solicited the Giant Bomb Discord, which is a fun place to hang out. A lot of fine folk running the ship over there. A lot of fine convos happening there. I'm in the live stream tab of the Discord, and I fielded some cues, starting with Postman. What's the wildest thing about becoming a co-owner of an internet brand?
Everything.
Finding out about it from Disney World.
Yeah, I think you have us beat there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing's been like all the stuff we didn't know, right? It's like there's so many things to deal with of getting things set up. And then it's like, you know, when we do start making content, it is looking around being like, oh, we really can just start making whatever we want now because that's what people want us to do. So that's been great.
Certainly.
Last night of PAX, I skirted off to my room because I was feeling a little sleepy. But shouts out to John that handed over some goods. You know what I'm talking about. Partook in some of those, and then I was like, oh, I feel okay now. And then I kind of just disassociated, and I was just like talking to myself of like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I could do whatever I want now.
Yeah, we can't be fired.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at least, yeah, sure. But like, if I wanted
Take 3
to
out
be
of 5
like,
votes to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
but if I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna take all the smoothie recipes from Ring Fit Adventure, and I'm just gonna make them.
Yeah, you could just do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
I would like that.
I think
Should we bring The Rock on our board?
No.
Yeah.
the
Oh, we already
Dwayne
disagree.
Johnson.
Yeah. Should we
No, I
he's
think
on
that's
the
a bad
TKO
idea.
board. He doesn't seem to cause any troubles there.
No, he seems to just be really smooth. to work with.
Level-headed, down to earth.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should have
I-
Dwayne join.
Can he just not? Can he just like fucking not? Like
Yeah,
If he
he's
could help
the,
himself, he would have.
like he's the
Yeah.
highest paid. I think he's the highest paid actor in all of
He was.
Hollywood
Of the world. The world.
Yeah.
Yes.
of the world.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so like enough.
And
Okay,
he's
just like
crazy too. Yeah, he's
just
a crazy
fucking
person.
just fucking relax. Like you go on vacation, dog. Like, dude, you know.
He's got one of those like curated personas where it's all about like how insanely hard he works. He gets up at 2 and does nothing but like works and does meetings
grind
for
set.
28 hours
Yeah.
a day. That kind of like that
Yep.
very curated image. And I agree. Relax. Get
Yeah,
up at
settle down.
9. It's okay. You're
Meditate.
gonna get plenty
Yeah,
done.
he'll be fine.
He looks okay in that new movie coming out that he's in, Smashing Machine.
Oh,
or
that
whatever.
A24 one. Yeah, and I'm curious about the Scorsese one. But yeah.
Sure.
Oh, he's doing
Um,
serious movies now. We're here. We finally happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the guy from Tropical Thunder or whatever. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Which guy on Tropic Thunder?
Yeah. Extrapolate that.
The guy from Zoolander
Ben
and
Stiller?
Heavyweights.
Stiller?
When he started doing the
Heavyweights.
serious
Why bring
movie.
up heavyweights?
Heavyweights
didn't know we were
rules.
gonna-
I like heavyweights.
I know you
Yeah.
were dealing with a cinemaphile.
My
All
brother
right.
had a my younger brother had a I'm Percusizing shirt, and it was like
Oh, that's
the
funny.
people who knew really liked that at Disney. It was a deep cut. It was very I was pretty jealous of the reactions he was getting from that thing. God, Heavyweights slaps. That's a
I love
Yeah.
heavyweights. I
Good
do.
movie.
Yeah.
Very
of
good.
all of
Very
the
good movie.
child ensemble movies made for kids and families from the 90s, it's better than Mighty Ducks even. Heavyweights
Oh,
is
I don't
the
know if
best.
I'd go
It's
that
better than
far.
Sandlot.
What about
I'm
the Big
going to say it
Green?
right
The
now.
Big Green.
Better than Big Green.
Oh,
Better than
yeah,
Big Green.
Come on.
Little
yeah.
Giants. Little
Better
Giants.
than Little Giants.
L-
Better
Little
than Three
Rascals, the
Ninjas.
remake.
Three
Fuck
Ninjas
the Little
kicks
Rascals.
back.
Rookie of the year,
Three
Rookie of the
Ninjas
year.
knuckle up.
Rookie of the year is
Angels
my
in the
favorite.
outfield. Rookie
Angels
of the
in the
year.
outfield.
Angels
not
in
better
the
than
end
Rookie of the
zone.
Year.
Air
killing me,
Bud,
Small.
Air Buddies.
It's not better than Rookie of the Year.
is.
Rookie of the Year is the
Shut
best.
up.
Rookie of the Year is the
Heavyweights
best.
is
It's
the
not
best.
better than Mighty Ducks, you
It is.
demon.
Oh, I
It's
know
not-
it has hockey,
Mike-
but it's better.
No, Mike.
That
Mike.
movie's barely about hockey. What are you talking
Mighty
about?
Ducks has the most powerful hockey move ever in existence. That, as far as I know, has
The
never
flying
been
V or the
unleashed.
knuckle puck.
The knuckle puck.
No,
All
I
right,
don't
That's
think
Mighty
it-
Ducks 2. That's Mighty
No,
Ducks
it's
2.
three. I think it's three.
No,
Oh,
three's
two,
the
you're
bad
right. You're
one.
right.
2 has the
You're
knuckle
right.
puck.
2 introduces the knuckle puck as if Disney invented the knuckle puck. Also,
Kenan
Kenan
Thompson
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. Please give it to Kenan Thompson. Yeah, look, so what? They go to like downtown LA to learn how to play hockey better. I get it. It makes sense. Also, it is not better in any way than the Sandlot. How dare you? The Sandlot?
Sandlot's
The
great.
Sandlot?
Sandlot's great.
Are you
Sandlot's
kidding
great.
me?
It's fantastic. Heavyweights is just, it is the best of those. Kind of by far, it is so funny. I love Heavyweights.
I was
like
really
it.
upset as a kid because I didn't know how to swim, right? I still don't. And I
Yeah,
could
we'll fix
never
that.
be on like the blob thing that
The
they
blob,
like
yeah.
I wanted one of those so bad. That looked like so much
Oh
fun.
my god! The end of the movie where the Zoolander guy is like he's on the rafters because he escaped prison. And they're showing the video of him like making them eat rats or stuff. He's like, "Ooh, the film was fantastic. The editing technique." And then he does like a triple backflip onto the ground.
Are you repeatedly referring to Ben Stiller as the Zoolander
the
guy?
Zoolander guy?
Yes,
From
he's done that
Heavyweights.
many times. It's upsetting.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
pretty big.
fix-
Also, like he made Severance. And,
Yeah.
But he does know Jerry Stiller by name, though, so that's nice.
George
Okay.
Costanza's dad,
yeah.
the King of
Cool.
Queens.
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be increasingly upset by this kind of stuff. now
Well,
that-
welcome back. Yep.
cool, sick, awesome, and sick and cool.
We just need 3 votes.
I want to. We actually don't know that. Anyway,
Yeah, we don't have that one anywhere.
yeah, relax
Might
there.
take all
You,
4.
you think you know, but let me tell you. To answer the question of the original emailer, yeah, that's the answer. Is oh my God, there's just so much more to even do. As if my plate wasn't full enough before. Now it's even more full, and there's just a lot to do. That's the answer. There's so much to do and so little time, and that is it is equal parts freeing and amazing and exciting and all these things, and yeah, with a dash of horror, right? With a dash of a peppering in of anxiety and horror.
Yeah, we're not A24. We're like the other indie film company, Neon.
Yeah,
Which,
okay.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, shit's kind of stressful over there, huh?
Are they
all right.
sold out? I got in finally, and it says item limit reached. Didn't let me. There's no add to cart.
Oh, sorry.
I got
man.
mine, so I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, sorry, bud. You're gonna have to pay for one.
What
on
happened
eBay.
to extending the ladder down, Grub?
Yeah,
No,
Grub,
that's
jeez.
done. I'm independent now. I'm a business owner.
Get fucked.
Did you sign in before you try to buy it, Dan? Because it's one per account.
Oh, am I?
gonna
signed
help
in?
him.
Maybe not. Oh, log in, sign up. Oh shit. Okay.
There you
all right.
go.
I'll keep
All right,
you
well,
You're
updated.
Dan,
welcome, but
thanks.
I better have your vote for the next time they try to get me out of
We'll
this.
see. We'll see.
Gotta
all
keep
right.
greasing those wheels.
Tanner writes in 2 toppings. Backlar, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
I just want to say this ahead of time. I'm sorry.
Oh shit. Okay.
2 toppings for a hot dog. They can't be ketchup.
Chili and cheese. I'm never putting ketchup on a hot dog. Chili and cheese
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time.
no
that's
ketchup.
an easy. That mustard and sauerkraut.
Mustard and
would,
chili.
I would ideally have chili cheese and mustard on my hot dog, but I wouldn't want just
chili and
mustard and
onions?
cheese or just mustard and chili. So if it's just 2, I guess chili and cheese.
Chili and Texas Pete's. That's my
I'm-
final answer.
That's
I
pretty
am plagued
mustard.
by hot dogs.
Mike, you're a genius.
good. You're welcome, Dan. You're welcome. I
I'm
got your
checking
vote.
out right now.
I got your vote.
For now. Yeah, a couple weeks.
What have you done for
Well,
me
you got-
lately?
Yes.
Jan, you were answering. We're sorry. What was your?
Oh
hot
no,
dog answer?
just throw some onions on that bad boy, and I'm good to go.
Raw onions. God, those raw
Yeah.
onions, I don't get it. That's so much.
Well,
That
the thing is, they
so
taste
much.
really good.
They taste like they taste. I don't. It's not about the taste. The texture of raw onions is pretty rough.
Oh,
Is it?
okay.
Wait, is it because it's like fruit
Are they
adjacent?
wet?
Oh yeah. Raw vegetables may as well be fruit.
Okay.
We're on the poll.
Wait, you've
For
never
everyone
like
just joining, if you've come back to Giant Bomb.
Oh yeah. There's a chance, Dan. You could actually. All right, let me try right now.
I have a question.
Yeah. We got new
Yes,
eyes on
just
this now.
backlar.
Yes, Backlar.
So like a chopped up pepper, you're not nowhere near that dipping it into a like a ranch.
No, cook that thing.
But really, you won't like?
Don't
eat
you
a
have like tummy stuff
carrots?
because of raw veggies, and that's partially why?
No.
Okay, to be clear, it's probably not good for my stomach, but I'm not using that as an out. I would not fucks with it anyways.
Okay. All right. Wubzu writes in.
God.
So happy y'all are back. I often think about how patio could be a really beautiful name. What other inanimate objects would make good names for babies?
Worf.
No,
Worf's the guy from Star Trek.
No,
And it's also-
WHARF.
Oh,
It
like
sounds like
Fisherman's
Worf.
Wharf.
Same
Oh, sure.
sound.
Sure.
Parasol.
Parasol.
Parasol?
Parasol isn't a thing.
What's a parasol?
Wait, you say parasol?
Yeah, it's like an umbrella, right?
Oh, that doesn't sound as good then.
It's OL.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't sound as good then. That's like, yeah, like aerosol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aerosol.
Here's my daughter, Aerosol Manady.
Gazebo's good.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Zeeb. Hey, Zeeb.
No, they call him Zebo. Zebo.
Hey, Zeebo.
Oh, I had a Dr. Zabe. Dr. Zabo was like somebody in my school. I can't remember if he was one of the problematic ones that went to jail or not. There were many of them.
I mean, there were many.
Oh, there was, it's
Mezzanine,
bad.
mezzanine.
It got
Oh,
dark at
mezzanine's
pool in
good.
high school.
Ooh, casserole is good.
The Cass,
Casserole.
yeah.
Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie.
Like this is my daughter Cass. What is Cass short
GameCube.
for? Yeah.
I would, GameCube, Riker. Yeah, I like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what about double A?
That's Arn
Double
Anderson. Arn Anderson will shoot you. if you
No,
take that
like
name.
double A battery.
Yeah.
What about
he'll still shoot
battery?
you. Battery.
Maybe not battery.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince everyone in my life to let me, if I have a son in the future, to let me name them Nacho.
Nacho Choa.
You
there
have
are
my
people,
permission.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
are people
You're
named
welcome.
Got one
Nacho
vote.
on this planet. I promise you.
All right,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wasn't there a bad guy in Breaking Bad named Nacho?
Better Call Saul, wouldn't
I
it?
think he's in both of them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That would be.
Like one of the
That
main
is-
characters.
Yeah.
Just want you to know, Jan. I'm kind of running through. I'm kicking the tires on that one. You're talking about a Nacho Choa. That's kind of
Yeah.
like a.
Cute.
It's a bit of a tough. Doesn't
hard-
really.
Nacho Ochoa.
Can it just
Nacho
be,
Ochoa. That's
can it
gonna-
just be named Notch? So that it's
Nacho
Notch.
Ochoa.
I don't think you would name your kid
No,
Notch.
Oh, right, yeah.
No,
Well, Mike's a big fan of that guy's
That's
politics.
True, that's
so,
true,
yeah.
yeah.
How about
All
duffel?
Duffel?
Like a duffel
Duffel
bag.
Manady.
Are you just okay?
Duffel. That's kind of a cute
Duffel
name.
Manady,
Duffel.
first in his class.
Illuminati.
I just looked down at this EGM I have here and I thought, oh, Diddy. It's like, wait, nope.
No.
I am just looking around my room. I'm like, sound baffling, I guess.
By the way, that Donkey Kong coaster in Epic Universe, that is so fun. Oh, I got to do it at night too. It's so pretty at night. Oof.
What last one? JPEG.
Okay,
JPEG
JPEG
Mafia.
2000.
You first name J, middle name Peg.
Wet P.
Red.
All
red.
right. Moving on here. We'll only read a couple more. Fram writes in, who do you think of the five of you can jump the farthest?
Farthest.
Well, Dan's been training for a marathon. I bet
I
Dan.
just started though, and it's rough right now.
Okay, then maybe
but
Backlar
maybe.
because he's gonna have the glutes from hockey.
Yeah, Backlar's like an actual athlete. He's like engaged in athletic activities.
Yeah, and that skating really does
Yeah.
give you that.
My legs
booty.
are tree trunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's probably Mike.
No.
I'd say
I tell you
Jan,
what.
I'd say Jan too, because Jan's like limber, like with
Yeah.
your somersaulting.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll do
yeah.
better than anyone expects, but I won't win.
As
We'll
long as
all
you
be
beat Dan, that's
impressed.
all that matters. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hurt myself very badly, probably.
I wish I could dunk. Did I ever tell y'all when my dad used to pick me up from elementary school and kids would be playing basketball, he would
Dunk on
steal
you?
the ball from them and dunk on them?
That's
Hell yeah.
fucking awesome.
That's
That
fine.
rules.
Holy
pretty
shit.
cool. My dad is he's an old frail man now. Shouts out to him, but he used to buy those and one mixtapes, watch them,
Yeah.
and teach himself how to do all those tricks.
Oh, that's
hell
fun.
yeah.
Did he pass any of that athletic prowess to me? No.
You know, my dad did the same thing.
Sure, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
there we
course.
go. Our dad should start a rec league.
He's just like learning these moves. He goes, game changer. Yeah.
It's like NBA Street, you activate
Yeah,
the game
game changer.
and pulling his dick out the bottom.
Oh,
Just Blaze track starts.
just piss.
We just got a basketball hoop in the driveway.
Ooh.
And we obviously you lower that down to 8 feet immediately just so you
Sure.
can fucking dunk. And that's been a lot of fun because that's the thing I could still do that Dib can't. And I'm
Sure.
going to
Now,
continue to
be
do
careful, because my dad destroyed his knees playing basketball with
Yeah.
my brother. It became
Oh.
a lifelong problem. He has new knees now. That's
I
where
bet.
it eventually led to. So careful trying
Wait,
to keep
is
up
that-
with the
what?
kids.
That's
and
why I'm just
dunking.
skating. Skating
What'd
is
you
not,
say,
I
Mike?
don't have that big problem, you know?
Since he's a doctor, did he get to like install his own knees? To, like,
No,
put on your
you
own
have,
computer?
turns
Computer.
out
Awake.
you
Yeah.
have to have someone else do that.
You could probably though, right?
No.
If you were like a
a
back
really
alley
good
ripper
knee
doc.
doctor, if you were like a great knee doctor, couldn't you replace your own knees?
No, it would be very
Dan,
painful.
Dan, use your head. What do you mean?
No, I bet you could. I'm not kidding. Like,
Why?
think about it. Okay,
So
because you
you-
know the
you-
mechanics of the situation. You've got the tools.
Okay,
give
but
yourself the
but-
local anesthetic.
Okay, so
and
you have
then
to do
fucking
it-
Give yourself a new knee.
From your perspective, and then what are you just like spinal tapped? Are you just like completely numb from the
Well,
waist
yeah,
down?
well,
What else do anesthetics impact? Maybe
Well,
your
if it's
mind?
general, it knocks you out. But I'm saying like, if you just local up, you know, you're
Okay,
probably
so
fine.
It's not
like,
enough.
If it was like end of the world situation and a doctor needed to replace their knee and had like, could they do it? Maybe.
Maybe.
I think they could.
That's,
I think they
that's
could.
the best case scenario is
Yeah,
maybe.
At best, maybe.
Yeah,
All
like I
right.
mean, they're like at gunpoint. Like replace your knee.
Sure,
I think
okay,
that could
maybe.
happen. Yeah.
The situation has changed since we first posited this. I mean,
Whole
you wanna
family's at
know-
gunpoint. Replace your knee.
Yeah,
They're gonna
got
do
it. Okay, got it. All right. Well, then in
Okay.
that case,
I'll ask my dad if he
maybe.
thinks he could have done it under the worst case scenario. I bet he's
That
gonna say
is-
no.
Man, that is some self-surgery that I am not interested in watching.
There are so many other surgeries that would probably be like that would make way more
Way
sense
easier.
than
I,
knee
yeah,
surgery.
I bet you could take out your own gallbladder with much more ease than
Right.
you could replace a knee. You know,
A cavity? I bet you could do cavity.
It'd be
Cavity.
a lot of angle
cavity.
issues.
You need a lot of
think you're-
mirrors.
I think you're wrong about that, but
Big mirror, yeah.
Big mirrors.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for writing in to the show. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the normal email address.
Chat says, although when I got my vasectomy, my doctor told me of another doctor who did their own vasectomy.
that
There
is
you
literally
go.
a snip.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
but
much
balls,
easier.
but balls are so much scarier than knees.
Okay.
No, oh my God, no, you're so
No,
wrong.
you're not getting. It's not a matter if you're getting punched in each of them. You're surgically making an incision and snipping a thing, as opposed to taking out an entire joint. And
I'm just saying, I'd be
Too
way
late.
more scared of ball snipping than knee
he's got himself
replacement.
convinced that this is all like how he originally thought. We're done.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
no,
this
so
somehow
Dan-
validates his
Yeah,
insane
he
clear.
feels
thing.
validated. It's over.
getting
exactly.
your
I'm
knee
right.
replaced is a much bigger deal than a vasectomy.
But if me at gunpoint, and they say replace your knee or snip your balls, I'm replacing
You're
my
gonna
knee.
like
You're
slice your knee open,
stupid.
and you're gonna look and see all the shit that's in there, and you're gonna die.
no, it's
Man.
gonna suck, but at least it's not my balls.
We are going.
I can't argue.
We
you,
are
I win.
We are absolutely going to call you out. The new giant bomb is gonna fucking drag you, dude.
next week, Dan
Drag you.
replaces his knee.
Drag you.
You voted on it, Dan. You have to do it.
Absolutely.
Did not agree to this at the board meeting.
Okay, last question comes from Slane. What do you call a werewolf YouTuber?
What is it?
Super eye patch wolf.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's easy. Next question.
No,
I
what's
guess-
the? There's a punchline
is
here.
there-
Yeah, I get it.
punchline?
I understand how
Yeah,
it
yeah,
goes.
yeah. Anyone have one?
No.
What do you call a werewolf YouTuber?
There's Howl. There's Moon. There's Lycan. There's
like and
Like
subscribe. Like and yep. Like,
Like
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yep.
Like
That's
and
cute.
subscribe.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that's what
we
you
got
should
there.
do to the Giant Bombcast, as well as all of our lovely other podcasts here at giantbomb.com, giantbomb.com/join. You can help support us. Giant Bomb is now completely independent. We're like a co-op grocery store now.
Yay.
That's right. You'll see us all stocking up the aisles, checking you out at the checkout line. Dan's working the fish counter, and he's just like presenting you with
medical.
fish.
I'm medical.
I'm sorry. He's at the medical aisle just chopping knees.
Yes.
Gang, we got a lot of stuff going on. But this week specifically, Game Mess mornings popping off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yes.
That's right.
As well as a voicemail dump truck.
Can't wait.
Professional Friday on Friday. Dump trucks on Thursday. But tomorrow, we start a brand new season of Fight Club. And this time, Mike is going to look so cool.
Really cool.
So cool.
I'm gonna look
Really
like a piece
cool.
of shit.
Backlar, do you know what he's going to look like?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. It's real good. He's
Do you
want to
know, or do you want to see it for yourself?
I want to see it for the first time.
Hell yeah.
He's going to look so cool.
Very cool.
All right. Also, you can catch us around the internet this week and probably leading into next week. We were going to be everywhere telling and spreading the good word of giantbomb.com/join.
That's
Hey,
right.
Backlar, check your Discord real quick. I just want to get your reaction to how cool Mike's going to look.
I just said I want to see it for the first time,
Oh,
man.
I thought you meant the character.
This is fucked up. All right. Oh man.
What the hell? I guess I'll find out soon.
At least you're already cooler than what I'm looking at. So
No way.
No, man.
Why is cool the word we keep using here?
You
Why?
know.
You'll
Because
understand.
it's gonna look cool. What, you want me to lie to you?
It's a temperature joke, isn't it?
Yep. Yup. It's that.
We'll see.
Anyway,
Tomorrow, UPF, we talked about.
Oh my God, Cool World?
Yep. It's Cool World.
No one remembers Cool World.
Yeah,
some Power Stone?
Yeah, Power Stone.
wish.
Well, we'll do the whole fighting collection too, but we'll play a lot of Power Stone.
Yeah, I want to do a quick look because there's a lot of games I'm looking forward to in there. But yeah, Power Stone multiplayer is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, that'll be most UPF, and we'll do a quick look as well. So look forward to that.
yeah, gonna try and get some other quick looks up and running. If you missed it this morning, there is a Doom: The Dark Ages quick look that Dan and Grub put together. Might get a Claire Obscure one. May do a Drop Dutchy, whatever the heck the game's called.
You call
Maybe
whatever you want.
Nubby's Number Factory, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
That's a good game.
And yeah, anyone else got anything else left to say?
If you want to, we'll raid on Twitch, but I'm about to pee right after this, and then I'm going to hop on the Jeff Gersman show, which should be live and in progress. So I'm going to hop on and catch up with Mr. Gersman. So
Shouts
tune
out
in
to
there.
Jeff. Jeff has been showing lots of love and support. Thanks
Yeah, it's
to the
been
big
very
dog.
helpful.
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
All right, everyone. I guess that's it. We'll see you next week somehow for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. He's been Jeff. He's also been Jeff. He's been Mike. He's been Dan. I've been Jan. And you at home, thank you so much. Genuinely, for shoot. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I'm not paid by the hour anymore. I don't have to try to stretch this show out as long as I can.
Wait, that's what you were doing?
100%.
Those 4-hour bombcasts make a lot of sense now.
Mwah. Now, one more time. Time that is.
I'm there.
Same.
All right. Backlar, are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's clap beep respectively at 15 and 20. 1520.
Good.
Go stop those recordings. I'll go make a folder to upload
Export
those two.
audio, export to computer.
Bombcast.
I can't just type raw audio anymore. At least until we get it back.
Well, we don't have that anymore. Right.
Well, we should get it back.
Okay, did we do 48 or 44?
48.
Now, then.
Okay.
What did we do? 48, not 441.
I'm going to share.
We're still on
48
Twitch,
then.
right?
Here, let's go up.
Something weird with the audio. Is the audio glitch?
What? I didn't hear any audio glitching.
Yeah, YouTube's saying something about
Right now, weird. What wasn't before.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's weird.
Well, if
Okay.
you just started, it's fun, I guess.
Sorry, you said we're doing this temp quick look folder?
Yeah, go put it there for now.
Someone give me a link to that. I don't know where that is.
We'll
Yeah,
do.
All right, I'm gonna hop on with Gersman. I will talk to y'all in a bit.
Hey,
Grub,
Bob.
did
That's better now.
you start the raid?
Yes, I'll get the raid right now.
I'm gonna kill YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube. I love you. Mwah.
Hey, someone YouTube chat, tell is just Jeff Gersman on Twitch?
Let's
Can't
see.
remember.
Yeah, just Jeff Gertzman.